Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Good evening and welcome to Aspirant CCG on Twitch. We got some Hearthstone action for you. Week 5. You know what that means. We're getting closer and closer to the playoffs here in Season 5. My name is Jimmy Cat, joined this week by my wonderful co-host, Kazgar. Kaz, how you doing, my friend? It's been a while.
It has been a while since I've been in the chair. Life has come in and did that thing that life does where it exists, but I am excited to be back and cast some Hearthstone for some week 5 stuff and some playoff hopes getting on the line, some high stakes matches coming to you too.
Exactly. So basically, with everything going on here, as we said, the playoffs getting closer, games matter here, and we got a good one for you here to start off. We got Edelweiss coming in at 3-2, taking on Leodaric, who's still hanging around there at 1-3. Leodaric really needs to make a move here, really needs a win to stay alive, at least in that wild card picture.
Yeah, he's not guaranteed by any means if he wins out, but in the
No.
scenarios that he does win, that in the scenarios in which he does make the playoffs in that wild card spot, he does need to win out. So you
Yes.
have to think a loss tonight maybe spells the end of his season as far as playoff hopes are concerned this year. Whereas Edelweiss sitting just that top two spot. A win here propels her over into the top two to get that automatic bid into the playoffs and not have to fight through the wild card bracket. So really some high stake, like I said, high stake stuff. And also fun to mention, these two are teammates, both on Swigoi Gaming, sort of a mainstay of the competitive Hearthstone scene. So they know each other very well, and I'm sure that absolutely played into their lineup prep. And I know they've been practicing together for other matches this week. So always fun to see two people who know each other very well and how that knowledge of your opponent can play into what the decks you think they might be playing, and then oh, but if I think this, and they'll know I'll think this. So really fun to see how that plays out. And so it looks like that has happened here because I have to say some kind of odd decks. I would say of the 8 we're looking at. I think like 2 or 3 of them are a little weird. So that's exciting to see. Not decks you see on ladder every day, but of course we'll get to that in due time.
Yep. It's something to kind of bring up here because obviously Turtle Mage getting banned or getting nerfed hard in the most recent patch and everything. A lot of competitors, not just here in Aspirant, but also in the actual competitive scene, the Master Tours, the Grandmasters have kind of had to shake up their lineups a little bit here. And as you can see here, both Edelweiss and Leo Derek are bringing Shaman, a class that we haven't really seen a heck of a whole lot of so far in this season. But it's good to know that you take out a class, you take out a specific archetype, you're able to fill it in with one that's just rising up to the top, and that's really these shaman decks are really going to be interesting to see how they're going to be able to fill that void uh that Turtle Mage basically left.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill set that I think these players are being tested on, and I think a lot of weeks in the series actually, because the nerfs and changes to the game have been coming so fast and furious. The meta, it feels to me at least, like right when it gets, quote unquote solved, Blizzard says nope, never mind. So then you have a week of I
Yep.
have 3 days to test maybe, and the data on HS Replay and Vicious Syndicate maybe isn't really there. So you really have to go with your experience, intuition, and just game knowledge, which of course, both of these players have both super successful. Edelweiss also a competitive Match the Gathering player,
Yep.
tournament organizer in the Philly scene. So they both have that experience in their back pocket to rely on. So it's pretty also fun to see that it took them in different directions as well.
Well, as you said, it's actually going to be very interesting to see these deck lineups. Let's get to these deck lineups right now as we get ready to prepare for our first match of the week 5 stream. As we start taking a look at Edelweiss, you see that warrior in red there. That means that it's been banned. So we're not going to be seeing warrior in this match, which means we're going to be seeing priest, shaman, and paladin for Edelweiss here. Again, Shaman has really been the one that everyone has kind of been paying attention to. You got you got so many variations. Control Shaman's been making a run here. This looks to be more like a control shaman deck, which again, a lot of people have been interested in it. You've also had aggro shaman, the totem shamans, uh kind of getting up there as well. So this shaman deck is actually unique in its own right. You got Harrison Jones in there. You got the Cartel Defender for health.
Medicine Jones, the Cobalt Sticky Finger, and the double acidic Swamp Ooze really just I mean that alone makes me think that she built this deck and therefore this lineup. If you look across the whole board, she's got at least one ooze in every deck, a Cobalt Sticky Finger, and 2 of the 3 that aren't banned. It seems like Edelweiss here really just hard targeting Warrior, pretty much as hard as you can. And then speaking on the Shaman, just all the weapon tech, and then she's got so much life gain. She's got the double Witch's Brew. She has the Tidal Wave, which I was like reminded was a card shortly after the nerfs. I was playing on ladder, and all of a sudden, my Shaman opponent was about to die, and then my board was dead, and they had 30 life again. And I said, "Oh, cool, that's a card, fun." She has 2 of them, and 2 Walking Fountains, and the Archivist Elysiana. That Shaman deck is going for the long game.
Yes, it is. Now going over to Paladin, let's take a look at that real quickly. Paladin's kind of been getting up there here, especially the pure Paladin archetype here. And this one is no stranger to the competitive scene. You got Lady Leodrin there, you got the Libriums. It looks to be more of a Librium pure deck than anything else. So you also got Acidic Swamp Boost to kind of take away of anything, any weapons that her opponent might have. And then you also got the outdoor attendant for you basically have a lot of Libram support here. And with this kind of class, the Librams are a necessity in this game.
Definitely. And looking at her build, she went for the Broom Paladin. That was first brought up by Funky Monkey, and it's been a little bit refined. We've seen some more. We've seen it take the competitive scene a little bit. She's going for the double Pin Flinger, the single Lightforge Blessing. Only one Wild Pyromancer, which I find fairly intriguing, but I think if you look at her lineup overall as sort of an anti-control, it makes sense because Pyro excels at clearing small boards. There aren't that many of those in a control matchup that you're trying to target, so that makes sense as the cut for the Acidic Swamp Ooze to jam in there. But again, this deck has a ton of value with the Lady Adrin, the double Pin Flinger, so when when you get to the point in the game where those Librams of Wisdom cost 0, you've got hero power, double Pinflinger, wisdom, double Pinflinger, wisdom, and you're just shooting out 2 damage multiple times a turn every turn. Again, another deck that can take the long game, but unlike Control Shaman, there is the sometimes game where Paladin comes in hot and just is able to play on curve. So a pretty versatile deck, and also a very skill testing one. I think when a lot of players pick it up, you do struggle a lot because it is not necessarily an intuitive play style with the pin flingers and like knowing when to spin your broomsticks and whatnot. So really excited to see Edelweiss pilot this deck. So I know she's a good player, and I know I will learn a thing or two watching her play it as well.
Absolutely. And then, oh man, I tell you something, Kat. The last time I streamed was week 1. We had a game 5 mirror priest match. I don't think I've ever wanted a match to end at more than that match. Luckily, we don't have any mirror matches that we know of that we're aware of at the moment. But seeing that priest deck come in, we got a Galacon priest deck here with Murzon the Infinite, obviously Galacron, but you also got Apotheosis to help with that life game. One thing I'm kind of noticing here is they do not have a card to Defender, which when you think about it, when it comes to Priest, has been a vital card in that life game for Priest to help get that victory. It's kind of weird that Edelweiss didn't bring that in.
Yeah, it's really common in the priests that focus more on the resurrect game plan where you just bring up the same minions. I think Edelweiss's deck is maybe going more for the value generation with the double draconic studies, the disciple of Galacron, the Galacron itself, the Sethik Veilweaver. It seems like this is a deck that's going to try to do what this control priest variant does, rather than just revive the cards in her deck. Just try to generate a win condition. She's saying, I'm gonna survive. You can't kill me. I have all of these board control tools, and eventually I'm gonna generate something that will kill you. And again, you can see the anti-weapon tech really expecting the Bomb Warrior and or the Soul Demon Hunter to be something she's trying to beat here. So again, priest. I mean, I feel like the priest is the weak spot in the lineup. If I'm looking at it right now, Shaman can get a win. I think it's just gonna hit. It's gonna hit a deck that it beats. It's not great on ladder because there are too many bad matchups. But that control Shaman's gonna do what it does. I feel like priest is on paper the weak spot, but it generates so many cards. And it's 2020. Anything can happen.
Yeah, yeah. Don't remind me. One card to keep in mind, especially with Leodaric's deck list and everything for Edelweiss and Priest, that's Soul Mirror. If she plays it right, it could be really, really effective. But again, she just had to play it right. Depending on the situation. Speaking of Edelweiss's opponent, let's go ahead and take a look at Leodaric's deck list here. Leodaric, as you see, the Druid is in red, which means it's been banned. So Leodaric bringing in Warrior, Paladin, and Shaman. So really, the only difference in between the two competitors here is we have a Priest for Edelweiss, a Warrior for Leodaric, and then similar classes in the Paladin and Shaman. Let's start with that Warrior one for Leodaric. Looks to be your typical your bomb warrior with really no risky skipper. I'm noticing here no risky skipper in this one, which for a bomb warrior is kind of essential if you want to get that early damage going on.
Yeah, I think the omission of Risky Skipper says to me that Leo was not expecting to have any aggro from Edelweiss. Because that's really there to clear up a small board, throw down it with Armor Smith, gain some life. He went with the more anti-control build with the double Horde Pillager,
Yep.
double upgrade. He's even with all of Edelweiss's anti-weapon tech, he's gonna have almost infinite bombs. There's gonna be a bomb going into Edelweiss's
Yep.
deck every turn with this card. And then, of course, the Galakron, the Unspeakable, there at the top end to add a little bit of a clock there with that repetitive 3 damage. And I think that Warrior is really just it's kind of fun. They brought similar classes, but very different
Yep.
takes within those classes, right? If you move over to the Paladin, you'll see that Leo also bringing the Broom package with the double Pinflinger. But whereas Edelweiss sort of went for more the top end and the control style, uh, Leo comes in, lowers the curve a lot with the double Imprisoned Sungill, double Argent Braggart as well, and a Cult Master to help cycle through all these small minions he has. Really, it's, as I said, I don't know. This does seem like they sort of game plan for each other, right?
Yeah.
It seems like Leo thought, oh, Edelweiss is going to bring a bunch of slow decks. I'm going to lower the curve in this deck that's normally a pretty anti-aggro to get some aggression on the board as well.
One now we had brought up before the show, before the stream, that Shaman had been making a big move and all this stuff. There have been two archetypes of it: Control Shaman, and then the one that Leo Derek brought, which is your Totem Shaman. Really, the highest cost is 6 mana, so really looks like they're going for the aggro totem here. And really look at the lineup here. You got Evil Totem to help with the lackey support. You got the Splitting Axe, which will help make copies for your totems. So there's a lot that Leo Derek can do with this class, with this specific archetype here, with this specific deck list that could potentially spell trouble for Edelweiss, depending on when we see the Shaman.
Yeah, it's a deck that struggles if it's behind on board. Totem Shaman doesn't really have any comeback mechanics, so if it falls behind early, that's game over. It can't really get there most of the time. It does need to stick a board to play the Bloodlust to win. But again, if you're expecting a bunch of slow decks, they're just going to pass the first 3 turns. Cool, I'm going to play Tour Guide, Hero Power, a bunch of 0 mana totem buffs, play my Splitting Axe. You're gonna have a good time against a slow deck with Totem Shaman. So I think it's fun to see both players. They brought they didn't go for the 4 best deck strategy, which is never a bad strategy.
Nope.
But in this sort of unsolved meta, it's not really clear. So I like that they picked a targeted archetype and said I'm gonna build to beat that. And then they sort of met each other. They met each other's targeted archetypes. So seems like Edelweiss is trying to beat that Bomb Warrior, which Leo brought, and Leo is trying to beat up on some slow decks, which all of Edelweiss's are. So we'll see whose instincts were right, I guess.
Yep. Once again, we are just getting ready here for week 5. We do want to remind people before we get into this first match, but because Leo Derek versus Edelweiss is a live match, we are going to be on a 10-minute delay just for competitor integrity and safety. We don't want any stream snipers. We don't want any cheaters because that just ruins the game for everyone. But going into this game, again, Leo Derek basically needs to win out to have a shot at a wild card spot. Edelweiss is really in a perfect position to move up to get that being a top 2 in Division 3. And when you look at it, I'm looking at it right now. Division 3 is wide open here. You got a tie in first, 3-1s, and then you got, let's see here, for potentially 5 competitors that could make some moves here. We talk about divisions and which division looks interesting going into a season. I don't think anyone expected Division 3 to be in this interesting position that they are. You got, let's see here, again, basically 7 competitors with a legit shot at clinching a top 2 spot, and then you have plenty more that could potentially clinch a wildcard spot.
Yeah, it's wide open, and that's I think that's what the series brings. As the series has gone on in its seasons, the quality of players has gone up, and there are really no free wins left as you go match
No.
to match. You got to fight for everything, and that's just that's how it goes. So and that makes it fun for the competitor too. A couple early losses like I experienced doesn't knock you out. It's Hearthstone. Anything can happen. You can play it and you play it out. So yeah, it's excuse me. And it makes for fun matches because there's stuff on the line as well.
We do want to also bring up that, again, Leodaric basically loses. He's out. There's is gonna be a tough time to make it to a wildcard spot. However, that doesn't mean that his season is necessarily done, because we do want to announce that should the competitors that fail to make the playoffs but finish the whole season, we are going to have a consolation tournament involving some players. I can tell you for a fact, I'm going to be competing in this thing because there's no way on God's green earth I'm making a wild card spot unless some miracle happens. Um, but it's something new because this is the biggest Hearthstone season that we've had. We have 5 divisions of 9 competitors each. We have 45 competitors in all. We're gonna have a big playoff. There's gonna be a lot of players that might not make the wild card because of record and or game results and everything. So because of that, there are gonna be some upset fans or upset players, but fear not, we will have a consolation tournament. As for whether it's going to be streamed or not, it kind of remains to be seen. We're still trying to figure everything out in that regard, but we are still in week 5. There's a lot more Hearthstone to go.
And a lot more Hearthstone to go tonight as well. So I think
Yes.
as soon as we get the go ahead from our producer and the players, we will hop in to this match. Just to catch everyone up, this is standard conquest best of 5. Once a deck wins, that deck is done. First player to win with each of their 3 non-ban decks will win. So really, and that sort of influences ban as well. You just need to take one deck. Your deck doesn't need to beat your opponent's whole lineup. It just needs to be one. So we can, as I mentioned, Edelweiss's Priest being in the weak spot. It just needs to have one high roll game or one very well played game. A well timed Soul Mirror. And we'll see how it goes because we are getting right into game number 1 here in our week 5 Aspirant series.
Yep, Edelweiss versus Leodaric here, game 1, and looks like Leodaric's going to start with the Bomb Warrior here, and Edelweiss going to be bringing in that Shaman that we talked about earlier on.
Yes, she is. I'm very excited. I have only lost to this Shaman deck, so I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to see it lose just for some personal edification, but it'll be fun. And it's an interesting matchup as well. I think Leo queuing the Bomb Warrior first, maybe just saying that Edelweiss is trying to target it, so he's going to bring it first and give it the most chances possible to sneak in a win, because I think if he can get a win with this Bomb Warrior, he's looking pretty good. Choosing to keep
Yeah.
1 Wrench Caliber in the mulligan on the coin makes sense. Go ahead and jam that out on 3 to start shuffling those bombs in. Edelweiss, a pretty slow reactive hand. Sort of the issue with the Control Shaman against Bomb Warrior, in spite of all the healing, is that a lot of Control Shaman's tools have to deal with a board being generated, and Bomb Warrior short of Dr. Boom, doesn't really generate a board, right? He just
Yep.
its board is the bombs that it shuffles into your deck. So I think Edelweiss might run into some hand issues with this hand, but remains
So
to be
Edelweiss,
seen.
yep, yep. Edelweiss starts off with a hero power, brings in a healing totem. Meanwhile, Leodaric will do the same, uses a hero power to get 2 shield. Edelweiss will bring in a Farsight.
There's that Cobalt Sticky Finger. That's gonna be, but it looks like this first Wrench Caliber is gonna come down and be able to get in a swing, both swings. Sorry, before Edelweiss is able to play it. Unfortunately, the next Wrench Caliber, it's going to be bad news for Leo. But it's going to be interesting to see how he navigates around. Of course, this is open deck list, so he knows all of the weapon hate that Edelweiss is bringing. So it's going to be a challenge for him to navigate the bombs appropriately because, and you need to play them because you're going to lose some Wrench Calibers in this matchup, right? You see all the
Yes.
weapon hate, you're going to lose some. So there's an argument to be made for just doing what he's doing, playing them early, getting as many swings in as possible, and then relying on your Horde Pillagers later after the weapon hate is gone to finish the game off.
Leodaric brings in Wrench Caliber number 1, decides to go face, leave that totem alone. So now we have 1 bomb in play in Edelweiss's deck.
Yep. Edelweiss looking, there's the option to Lightning Bloom and go ahead and just steal this first one if she wants it. That's a little inefficient. You're overloading for 2. On the other hand, though, there's only 1 durability, and as I just talked about, Leo knows you have weapon hate, so maybe use it while you get value. I think Edelweiss being a little more conservative here, just going to totem out, build herself a little board, passing it back over.
So Leodaric draws a Horde Pillager, which is actually might be seeing that card coming up here. Not so much maybe this turn, but maybe next turn to bring back another Wrench Caliber. But now Edelweiss using the hero power to bring in a 1/1 totem here. Leodaric will attack, hit face, add 2 bombs into the deck now, and just use the hero power and just takes it easy from there. So Edelweiss bringing in looks like a Witch's Brew here, which is actually gonna come in and play real handily. Especially with Leodaric swinging the Wrench Calibers early on with 2 bombs in play. That Witch's Brew is really gonna help out. Meanwhile, Leodaric will bring in the other Wrench Caliber here. So we have
chooses to float the mana rather than spend the upgrade now.
Yes.
Again, playing around that weapon hate and rewarded for it in this case.
So
I'm not sure if I love that though, right? Because there's the argument that they're going to draw it's more likely later that they have weapon hate than earlier. So what I mean, obviously it works out well in his favor. Did not give Edelweiss an extra bomb to shuffle in his deck, but interesting nonetheless. And now he does have the option to Horde Pillager upgrade immediately because he's seen 1 piece of weapon hate. That's 1 less, and it's pretty unlikely that Edelweiss is going to have the second one from his perspective. On the other hand, maybe he plays defensively. This board, there's only 5 damage in it, but it's not small. Once some other shaman stuff can come into play. Is she running? Oh, she is not running any evolve effects. So those totems will, in all likelihood, just stay totems.
Yep, you do have some. I believe there are some devolve missiles, which could come into play to hurt Leodaric early on.
Gosh,
Meanwhile,
the ooze top deck.
oof,
That hurts.
It was a smart play at the time, and then that came into play. So the ooze comes in, knocks out the second, or I'm sorry, technically the third Wrench Caliber because the other one got stolen.
That's 3 of the 4 Wrench Calibers gone already, and we're on turn 7. So that is pretty rough. Only 1 left in the deck, nowhere in sight. I think we may just see the Galakron to go ahead and start smashing that hero power.
At this point, it wouldn't hurt,
Yeah, I'm just not sure what else he does. He needs to start getting that damage in as quickly as possible.
You could, if you want to, play Lord Barav, get everyone to 1/1 at this point, and then that 1 cost spell, I believe that's a Blaze Storm, could come into play to board clear. But Leodaric's really in a good position, at least health wise. You also got the brawl in effect, but I think Barav, yep, and then Whirlwind. So,
Clear.
but you still got the Lord Barav in play. So Leodaric still has uh some board presence here. I don't really think there's really any other necessary plays to make.
Considering the upgrade, maybe just to, I mean,
Get a
he's out
weapon
of bombs.
in
There's only
play.
one wrench caliber left in the deck, and we're so low. Yeah, those are gonna stay in hand for a while. I don't mind it. Just a little bit more damage. I think this is a matchup in which every point of damage is gonna matter.
So we got 2 Cartridge Defenders and the Witch's Brew for Edelweiss. And you might want to be thinking here, what do you do in returns to your health? So we're gonna have Torrent come into play.
Yep,
And we
this
do
seems fine.
see 1 Cartridge Defender. And we get the Deathwing now for Leodaric. But keep this
Definitely
in mind.
does get to clear this along with a weapon swing, and then you have a 12-9 on board. But I like this. I like going ahead and getting Galakron online as quickly as possible to get those swings in as quickly as possible. Clear it up with a shield slam and a weapon swing, and then next turn you can start pressing that hero power and shipping 3 damage as close to face as you can get it. We can see there's another taunt that heals in the way, but there's just so many things that Leo is always going to have to deal with. He's kind of in a position where he's not going to be that upset about it. He knew it was going to be there anyway, so you
So
just do it.
we see Witch's Brew come into play here. The Dozer No Taker comes in, so now they have another like actual copy of Witch's Brew, so they're still good in the health section. Meanwhile, here,
I'm
Leo, you
I'm
have
just tickled because Leo's gonna have to deal like 150 damage to get
yeah.
through this for Edelweiss. Like he's gonna have to kill 5 Edelweisses in one game and then kill her other 2 decks. This is it's just silly and I love it. I'm here for it.
Dr. Kransanoff comes into play now for Leodaric, adding some help with the weapon, because remember it's a rush, but anytime that Kransanoff attacks, the weapon gets a 1/1 boost. So cutting class comes into play. We see a shield up and a blaze storm now.
Yeah,
Fist of Rodden for Edelweiss, and it looks like we're gonna be seeing that come into play now.
yeah, gonna get some 1-mana legendaries, and the one that comes to mind is the priest one that shuffles something in your deck that is the prime. Why can I not remember that one? What's its name?
The
Help me,
reliquary.
Thank you. There we go.
I got you.
I don't play priest. I please not a priest player, so I often forget that name. I just know that when I see it as a hunter, I'm like, oh god.
So Reliquary of Souls, we get knocked out, but we were gonna have a Reliquary Prime now added into the deck, which adds a little bit another option for Edelweiss coming in here. Meanwhile, if you're Leodaric, you had Dr. Kransanoff, you also have Deathwing in hand. You have a lot when it comes a lot you can use for your weapons. And you're just boosting up the armor at this point here, and also gaining some well-needed attack to try and wear Edelweiss down a bit. And we see our first bomb of the stream, taking 5 damage as Edelweiss. Still got the Witch's Brew, still has another Cartridge Defender.
It's just in her hand right now. She has 6 healing from the Cartridge Defender, potentially 20 from the Witch's Brew if she wants to spend all 10 mana doing that, and then she's gonna just go ahead and take 12 here from the Tidal Wave while she has the spell damage minion. I guess 11. She was not quite at 18. All right, so it's in a weird way. Leo is maybe happy to see her not getting full value off some of these heals. On the other hand, he's maybe a little sad because that indicates that she's feeling very confident about her chances and just gonna be fine throwing away some heals for low value.
Yep. So we'll see a Blaze Storm come into play here. Knocks out the legendary there. Another hero power. And Edelweiss is no longer at 30 once again.
For now. We'll see what
For
he
now.
is.
For now, yeah. There's something, something's gonna happen.
Yeah, this is a pretty decent Deathwing hero power play, though. You can throw down a 12/12. We see the Edelweiss has the Hex, but that's a 1-of in the deck, so, Leo can't really be expected to play around that. So, yeah, I'll spend 8 mana to get a 12/12 and hit you in the face for 3, which I think functionally Leo might be sitting at 8 mana per turn for the rest of the game, because if he wants to have any shot, I have to think that hero power needs to be played every single turn.
Yep.
Oh, but another taunt off of the Fist of Rajin as well.
So now, if you're Leodaric, you had nothing but spells. You can use a Shield Slam on one of the taunts, or if he's feeling really bold, really ballsy, you could try your luck with the Brawl. I personally wouldn't recommend that just because you don't know what's gonna happen. You're already at a 2-1 disadvantage. I feel my best bet would be with the Shield Slam to knock out at least the card to the defender just to get that out of the way.
Yep, Leo choosing to draw first, just expand his options. Oh, there's a Horde Pillager, so that's going to be his last Syringe Caliber, along with the upgrade. We've seen Krasinov gone, so he has, let's say, at most 3 swings of the Wrench Caliber left. So there's by my count, there's 2 bombs in the deck, 3 more coming. Tough to balance just playing it now to get some value out of it versus saving it to where you can load up bombs before you play Dr. Boom, because that's going to be a huge chunk of damage to go in. I like this. I like the Whirlwind here. This is fine. Sword and Board to clear up the card 2, leave him with just a 2/2 that you're not really that worried about. And I like saving both Brawls because Edelweiss is running double Walking Fountain as well, which is just another huge source of healing. And you never know what big legendary she can pull out with this last charge of the Fist of Ra-Din as well. So saving the Brawl, you're not really under any threat. You're never really under threat of minions in this matchup, so you can afford to be pretty greedy with your Brawls.
Evil Quartermaster comes into play here.
Okay, Dragon Lackey may be the best Lackey in this particular matchup to get you some value. Okay. Ooh. You're drawing your whole deck. DQA seems pretty good to me.
I would agree with you on that one. Alexstrasza and decided to go for the original Alexstrasza. But again, that's not a bad selection either. We might be seeing no Horde Pillager this time around.
Yeah, I like that as well. I think the Alex is actually as excited as I was about the DQA. The OG Alex, as I will call her starting now, is a little bit better pick just because it allows for a more aggressive game plan. Even if he gets the Dragon Queen Alexstrasza, Leo's never outvaluing Edelweiss in this matchup. She just has too much healing and she can go forever. He's already drawn several cards. Like, he's just not going to get there. So I think using Alex to make the aggressive push, definitely what you want to be doing.
Meanwhile, we see the only bomb from Leodaric coming into play here, and we see Kronks getting drawn here for Leodaric. So now you got some options here. You can play the Horde Pillager, get that Wrench Caliber back, but keep in mind that you got the Acidic Swamp Ooze. You can play Dragon Queen Alexstrasza and basically put some major pressure on Edelweiss, or you can play the Kronks and just figure out what you want to do from there. And looks like we're gonna see the OG Alexstrasza here knock the health down to 15, and we will also see a Shield Slam take out the Mage Totem, and Edelweiss down to the lowest HP that we have seen so far in this game. But as we know, you still got some Witch's Brews, you still got some fountains and everything. And also got the Reliquary Prime. So
I mean, I don't mind it. Using your mana. It's interesting to me that he traded there. Like, I'm not really sure what you worry about with the totems. And he did know he had the Witch's Brew, but again, like the Witch's Brew is always going to be there from Edelweiss, so it's hard to play around it. Although this was the second one, the one generated from Diligent Note Taker, still in the hand. Okay, get a Galakrond here. I have to think we're going to see an 8/8.
The 8/8 would be the best one, and that's exactly what we see. Gets a little bit of protection here, as Leodaric will take out that 2/3 taunt, and will attack Edelweiss face with the Lackey and the other evil Quartermaster. And we see bomb number 2 and bomb number 3 come into play here. Edelweiss really in a little trouble here as we get closer and closer to get into some fatigue here.
She's got lethal on board. I mean, we can see she can handle that quite easily with the Earthquake. The thing is, she plays the Earthquake. She's giving up the 5 health from what is that called? The Grove Tender? That's not right.
Yeah,
Groundskeeper. Groundskeeper. Yeah. Grove Tender and Groundskeeper feel like they could be synonyms. I'm gonna count that.
I'll take it. I'll definitely take that. But we do see the Earthquake come into play. So the 8/8 now an 8/1.
Yep. Got a Lightning Bloom. Probably to just get some heals here. Yeah, that seems fine. This and this is gonna pass her health back to at a little dangerous level to Leo. So maybe we see finally we see the Horde Pillager upgrade push come down here. This is the lowest her hand count has been this game as well, which is obviously the least likely she has the ooze. Yep, I think this is right. I think Leo making the correct read here. I feel like I just go ahead and play the upgrade.
I think that would be.
If they have the ooze, they're oozing your weapon anyway, and the extra upgrade isn't gonna do anything. Yeah, I like you. Yeah, you take it now, put him on having the weapon destruction, and push the extra damage now. And a 2-bomb breakpoint as well.
We'll see another evil Quartermaster come into play with a I can never say that right. An ethereal minion, I believe it is. Or an ethereal lackey. You know, the space mummy guys.
Gonna discover a spell. Huge top deck as well to draw for Edelweiss to get that extra 5 heal from the Groundskeeper, as we have learned it's called tonight. This is Educational Hearthstone here with Casgar and Jimmy Cat. We learn cards here.
Yes, we do.
Gonna go ahead and heal back up to 11, and all right, that Corsair Cache is completely dead.
Yeah.
Am I counting right? Is that lethal? That is lethal. Has the clear with the hero power and hero power and 2/3 into the taunt, 4 and 8. Well played.
That
Leo.
is lethal. So Leodaric will be taking game 1 of the series, and if this game is an indication to come for this game, it's really we seem to have lost our feed here, or at least I seem to have lost my feed. Leodaric again going up 1-0 in this game.
Yeah, and that's a big win for him as well, because that is the deck that, out of 120 cards, Edelweiss chose to put like 10 or something anti-weapon techs in there. That's the huge percentage of all the cards you can use, and now those weapon techs aren't really going to have any impact on the Totem Shaman or the Broom Paladins. They're just kind of, you're going to tempo a Kobold Sticky Finger, a 5-mana 4/4. That's not really great. So actually just a huge win for Leo, and really navigated well. And I like the strategy of just bringing the weakest deck to give it the most chances. And now we're in a position where he's got the super fast Totem Shaman to try to steal a game, and the Broom Paladin with all of its tricks and pins being flung. Putting Edelweiss a little bit on the back foot here to see how she can adjust her play and her strategy to now that her targeted deck is gone.
Edelweiss had a good plan. They'll try to keep that house going and going and going. But the problem was Leodaric was able to kind of keep up with the damage, keep up with the board presence. And once you threw that 8/8 taunt in there from Kronks, plus the Horde Pillager, plus you already had Galakron in there, the damage got to be too much. Plus, you were kind of already put really, really behind when you had the OG Alex Straza in, sent you down to 15 health. That really put you at a disadvantage here. But like you said, we don't. If you're Edelweiss, you don't have to worry about seeing the warrior anymore for the rest of this game. Now you can focus on their paladin and their shaman. But my question is, this year, Edelweiss, the shaman worked to a point, just the match didn't necessarily work out. Do you go back with the shaman or do you try the priest or pally in game 2?
It's Conquest Warrior. It's I don't know if you saw the Twitter debate on the people who have tried to solve it with like Nash Equilibrium or whatever, and then you have the people who are just nah random.org. But hard to say. In this particular series, it is worth noting that wins and losses can factor in some tiebreaker situations. So it does behoove you, like it's not just in a vacuum, right? So it might behoove you to cue the deck that you think can, even if you think you're going to lose the series, like losing 3-2 is better than losing 3-1 for
That's
tiebreaker
true.
Purposes.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see. I think, but then if you do that, then you're predictable, and there's just a whole, again, it gets into mind games. So I guess we'll see what Edelweiss wants. But again, on the back foot, the deck she was targeting gone. She's going to have to play really well, but I think Edelweiss, she's a really good player. She is no slouch. She is capable of playing well enough to get out of this situation for sure.
Edelweiss has always been a favorite when it comes to Aspirant Hearthstone seasons. She's always seems to be a contender for a title. Leodaric, however, really putting some pressure on early on with a 1-0 lead. As we prepare for game 2, we're just waiting for the classes to be selected before we get in. It looks like that has been the case. And Leodaric, actually, they'll both bring Shaman. So we will have our first mirror match here. Shaman versus Shamans. We get to see that that aggro shaman that no, yeah, the aggro shaman that Leodaric brought into play here in this series.
Yep, and I'm excited to see Trick Totem.
Well, you were excited.
The,
You have to wait a little bit now,
the
but
caster's curse. I guess throwing it away to try to find. Wait, can he just play a 5-mana card on turn 1? Do it. Yep. I mean, you do it.
I think
How do they answer? Oh, in Devolving this is how they answer it, but still, you're not doing anything on turn 2 anyway with all this overloaded mana. I love it.
exactly. So we see a right away. We see a Totem Goliath.
I mean, even a Devolving Missiles puts it to a 2-drop, which you would have been playing on 2 anyway, and now it gets to attack. That is incredible.
Get that
Leo really bummed here.
It was great at first, and then that happened. So Edelweiss,
it's still the right play, right? It's the Shaman equivalent of a turn 1 Edwin, right? You just do it, and if they have it, fine. But he's only 1 turn away from just throwing his second one out there. And I think if Edelweiss top decks a second Devolving Missiles, we're gonna see some more emotes from Leo.
I think we will indeed, and it does the card to defenders. So meanwhile, we see a Groundskeeper early on to get Edelweiss back to full health, but a Bloodlust comes into play for Leodaric. We might be seeing that later on. Let's see here. We will see a Totemic Call here.
Yeah, I like taking it a little slow. Let's build the board before we play the thing that builds us another board, especially with the Bloodlust in hand.
Job done. And look at that. That is, you're boosting up the totems. Get rid of that too, and you have two health totems and the mana one. We talked about aggro decks and everything. We talked about the aggro shaman deck, especially the totem one. And now, if you're Edelweiss, you use your turn to take out one of the totems, but you're still. We see Totem Goliath number 2.
Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and get some extra health as well to stave off any potential board clears. Does have the 5-mana Tidal Surge there from Farsight, which is gonna be bad news whenever that comes down.
Mm-hmm.
Another taunt. We're looking at not quite lethal with Bloodlust, even without a taunt, but yeah, I mean, I think you just, I don't know. Tidal Wave is pretty good here, but your life isn't that low, and it doesn't even kill anything. So
You'd be better off playing the Cartoon Defender, add a little disruption to the aggro plan if you're Edelweiss. Plus, with the health and everything.
yeah, you'll heal back up to 30. You'll soften up, and I think the Kartu really it softens up these minions
Yeah.
For the eventual Earthquake and or Tidal Wave.
Yep. So we'll have a tour guide. I would assume the tour guide and then the 0 cost hero power would be
I
the
think we'll probably
smart
see
play
the
here.
hero power first, and then tour guide after, because that way you're not gonna do anything with the free mana this turn anyway, so might as well spend it and stock and not cash in, save up the 0 mana hero power to cash in later. But Leo
Yeah.
just choosing to take it pretty slow, I think.
I mean, it's smart.
If this board gets cleared, tour guide can help him refill. Oh no, gonna play it now. And now we are threatening lethal, barring a board clear. And I think that's just this is just sort of a threat check matchup, right? Leo's gonna sit
Yeah.
here with this card in hand and say, look, if you miss one board clear, you're dead.
You got that's the thing is that Edelweiss, the only way you can get that board clear really is with the Earthquake. But you got to remember that Totem Goliath, once it's dead, you bring back all the basic totems. And like we said, we see them all in play now. And this and the axe also. So
Okay.
now Leodaric is thinking, hey, I got some options here. I think the smart play here, if you're gonna go for it, is play the splitting axe. Because there's no point in playing the bloodlust, I feel. But okay, guess I'm wrong. You call it the caster's curse, I call it the Jimmy Cat curse. It's really no difference here, but it whittles down Edelweiss's health to 12. And now if you're Edelweiss, you gotta do something about your health. And
Luckily, she's got another 1,000,000 points of healing in her hands. I feel like Leo's saying like I think that's just an instance of I have a board now, and he does run the second Bloodlust.
yeah.
So I think he's just he has it now. Oh baby, here we go.
Oh
The
boy.
double trick totem.
It's
And seeing the
happening.
Uzi gone,
Yep.
I think he's just gonna have to trick his way out of this here.
So Ooze goes away. Leodaric taking the first damage.
Gotta protect the random spells. I like it. Well, that was nothing. It was anticlimactic. And now
It's
I think
okay. It's okay. We will see. Uh-oh. Yeah, about that. Yeah.
that might be. I think
That's
Leo
gonna
might
be
be
a turn.
donezo in this one. I saw Totem
Yep.
Hunters doesn't have enough damage. Well, okay. He just has no way to deal with this. Any damage he does gets immediately healed back.
Exactly.
I think Leo is hoping those cards were the bottom two, right? Because the other cards are
Yep.
healing, but they don't give Edelweiss any board presence, so any development he has isn't necessarily answered. But now with this walking fountain, it's just everything he does gets to be answered. And the second one I think is the bottom right for Leo once that comes down, because that's a full clear, heal the million. I mean, doesn't even heal that much.
I think Leo is realizing that the end is near. As Edelweiss just heals back up, and Leo
You don't get there with Totem Shaman.
Yep. So Edelweiss ties it up 1-1 as we see her shaman class go away. So interesting mirror match in that regard. Leodaric had the edge. You had everything just go so well for you in the beginning. And then the heals come into play, and then it's like, welp.
Yeah, it's a
You
tough.
had,
Totem Shaman is a deck that lives on a razor's edge, right? If you like I said, I mean I said earlier, it's a threat check. You put your opponent on having an answer, and if they don't, they're dead. And if they do, you're probably dead. It's a live and die, but it's live and die on a razor's edge, and it can go either way. But on the flip side of that, while that means sometimes that your opponent does have the answer and you lose, on the flip side, it sometimes just steals games, right? Sometimes you get the tour guide into hero power, into turn 2 hero power, into turn 3 totemic reflection, into splitting axe, into bloodlust, and you just win. And that's just what that deck can do. So I think Leo brought it. He's like, I get 3 games with it. Surely one of those games I'll get the nuts.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you're Leo, it worked well for you. It just, unfortunately, Edelweiss had some answers for your moves. If I'm Leo, I would definitely bring back the aggro shaman and try again. The series is tied 1-1. You're in a good position to take the lead. Edelweiss, it just depends on that matchup. If she brings in Priest, it might spell a little bit of trouble for Leo. If the thing is though, like if you're Leo, you bring back the aggro shaman, you gotta attack right away. You have to attack because remember, obviously Priest has a healing abilities, so it's just gonna be right back a repeat of game 2 to be able to heal back up, heal back up, heal back up, and also bring in a bunch of random legendaries to squander your path. So for Edelweiss, it's really, do you go with the Priest? Do you go with the Pally? Because you would assume that Leodaric's going to be bringing back the Shaman.
Yeah, I think Edelweiss is in a pretty good spot. I mean, again, it really. We talked about the tiebreakers, and not to go back on my previous comment because that does matter. But winning the whole series is more important, and that is,
Yes.
that's just less. Q order is just less of a big deal in Conquest when you have to go with everything. But let's let the players tell us as soon as they are ready with their class selections here at 1-1, week 5. The season on the line for Leo, a potential playoff spot on the line for Edelweiss. Big stakes.
Yes, really big stakes. And just a reminder for everyone watching at home, we are currently on a 10-minute delay because this match is live as we speak. So that's why we're talking a little bit longer. That's why we're breaking down this match more, because this match is actually going on as we speak. We have a 10-minute delay for all of our live matches for player integrity. We don't want stream snipers. We hate stream snipers. It just makes everyone feel better, have a better safe of mind here. So as we get ready for game 3 here. And of course, as I said, Leodaric bringing back the Shaman and Edelweiss bringing in the Priest for game 3. And really, the only card that's really out there right now for Edelweiss is the Galakrond. I don't think you really want to keep that in your hand right now.
No, I think this
Or
is a matchup in which Galakrond isn't a big deal because you lose
yeah,
your biggest advantage, which is your ability to heal as much as possible. And unless it's fully invoked, Galakrond's only going to kill 1 minion, and Totem Shaman is at its core a token deck, so killing 1 minion doesn't actually
yep,
help you that much, except for kind of the rare breakpoints when you do the bloodlust math. Leo, a little bit of a harder mulligan. Yep, I like this.
yep.
Letting you get 2 early minions on board, one of which is a totem. On turn 3, you can answer a Sethic Fellweaver should one come down and generate your own 3-drop.
So
Leo
Leo's
just
just kind of debating, do we want to play the tour guide, get some early totem presents, and look like that's going to be the case here as we see totem number 1, which is the healing totem, as we saw early on in game number 2. Now your Edelweiss, I usually bring out the Disciple of Galakrond. That's fine. You also got Draconic Studies in hand for Edelweiss, so just keep that in mind as we get going in this game. Hero power number 2 comes into play. Got the 1/1 flame totem.
yeah,
Edelweiss
Edelweiss
now.
correctly, I think just valuing tempo here.
Yep.
You need to, and we talked about sort of in the pregame that Totem Shaman struggles when it falls behind on board. So I feel like it's rare that Priest can take the board this early, but you need to make the Shaman honest and fight for every little bit of board control that they can get early. Thinking about, that she's gonna coin the Breath of the Infinite potentially.
I would
Yep.
think that is the play, and that is indeed the play. So nice little board clear for Edelweiss at
Yep,
They're
a great
doing
threat
research
check going
agencies. Galakrond.
into the turn 3 for Leo, and which is the turn that Totemic Reflection comes down and the board starts to get really scary. So Edelweiss definitely displaying the awareness of the power spikes of Totem Shaman, which is something that these next level players are very good at. You know, it's a big thing. You have to think, what's my opponent want to do this turn, and how can I disrupt it? And the best players make every turn feel awkward. Like this, you know, he didn't want to float a mana. He wanted to, you know, spend all his mana and make a bunch of new guys.
Psychic Conjurer, and we see a Totem Goliath in for Edelweiss. Oh boy, that's
Before
gonna be...
Edelweiss generates a board of totems with a Bloodlust to kill Leo.
Oh no.
What
Oh
are the
boy.
odds? They're not 0, which is the most
They're
ridiculous
not.
part about it.
They're not.
They
It just
exist.
thinking about that is not making me feel good if I'm Leo, because that's a possibility also, as we have Renewed, Time Rip, and Apotheosis coming to play, and it looks like a Renew gets drawn up for Edelweiss. Now if you're Leodaric, you got some options here. You can work the splitting axe for your for the totems. You could go with the evil totem. You can do the Serpentshire portal if you really want to throw something out there. You got some options here. I don't think there's really a wrong move. As you
Yeah,
see,
I wouldn't. It feels like using the axe at this point is a little low. This seems.
yep.
Utilizes all your mana, you're overloaded next turn, but you have the Totemic Reflection for the Fire Totem if you want it. Yeah, I like this. This is good
Yep.
sequencing for me, and then that leaves you turn 6 to generate 2 Evil Totems if everything gets cleared, which can generate you more resources to generate more. But switching over to the Priest,
I
I
think
actually...
the Skeletal Dragon would be the best one here because you're able to keep going with the dragons and everything. But
I was pulled to that initially as well because it's a big taunt, but like you
Yep.
don't need the value that it generates, right? And you have your turn 5 Totem Goliath, but the turn 5 removal to kill a totem, which most of the time will have attack pretty close to clear totem on curve, I think is pretty good, and just again makes them fight for every minion that they keep on board, which is how they win, right? I like picking the removal, but I was excited by the Skeletal Dragon, I will say.
Yeah. That, like, for me, if I'm playing Priest and I'm able to run dragons, I'm thinking, ooh, Skeletal Dragon. It works. It can help you in so many ways. As Totemic Reflection comes into play, we instead
Wants to clear
power up the
the
minion, but not the totem.
Yeah, that's why he gets to clear the taunt and keep a board. It feels a little worse than copying a minion. You're not getting maximum value out of it, but he just needs to keep control of the board. And this leaves him with 2 minions, and he's already seen 1 Breath of the Infinite, and we're a little bit away from Soul Mirror, so I like it. I think it's keeps the pressure on, and he has a 6 attack minion to challenge any sort of big stuff that comes down next.
And now we have the Totem Goliath that Edelweiss had copied earlier in the game comes into play here. Now, if you're Leodaric, I say bring in the Lackey or the Evil Totem and the Splitting Axe might be the best play out there. Add a lot of board presence. I would say
I
at
like
least.
it with a Bloodlust, yeah. Again, I mean, yeah, make them have it. Right now, they're a turn away from Soul Mirror. And you know, if you wait, they're just gonna have it. Let's get some stuff. And with double Bloodlust in hand, at a certain point of the game, he doesn't need that many minions with 2 Bloodlusts. And Edelweiss, you know, he's getting in some chip damage early. He's like probably. I mean, this looks very scary. Obviously, he's got the 1 extra attack from the Goblin Lackey as well. Oof, none of those very helpful. If you're using Plague of Death, you've probably already won. Like I feel like if this game just gets to turn, I mean, if this game gets to turn 9, you've won. But maybe it's a nice failsafe because you don't have anything after the Soul Mirror comes down to clear a board.
If you get the Grave Runes, however, you can put that on the you can put that on the Totem Goliath. You know, you get rid of it. You get rid of the 6 attack, but you're still able to keep that board presence. You know, you got
Sure.
you'll have two 5/5 minions, both with their death rattle still intact, plus the four totems that we've seen in play, but instead they decided to go for a reborn.
Yep, got a reborn cycle again. I like this. Yep, Forbidden Word's gonna let him clear off something. He has a death to kill the 6/2. Seems good. Reborn. He can
Yep.
Forbidden Word's a totem. I'm sorry, I just referred to Edelweiss as a he that whole time.
Ooh.
I know she is a she. But yeah, really well sequenced play. I think they're just really considering all her options. I like going for the cheap spell off of the first renew to give you more options off the second one, because I think she was really looking for the Breath of the Infinite there.
Yep.
Okay, the Onyx Mage Scribe is intriguing just because it gives you stuff, but you don't have that many cheap spells as Totem
Yeah.
Shaman. So probably not that. I don't know. I like the Feywing. It's just a okay. Spends all your mana, and it's a threat, right? It's really hard for Priest
Yeah.
to kill. It's that it survives a Soul Mirror. It's that sort of awkward 4 attack place that Priest has struggled to deal with throughout Hearthstone.
But something to keep in mind as we're going to see Soul Mirror come into play here. Yep. So totems go away, the Lactia will go away. So the only thing left standing is the Mage Scribe, but that's going to be gone with the Goliath, the totem Goliath here. And now Leodaric had a plan all set up, and it just fell flat on his face with that.
Yep,
Now this,
it seems to be the story of Totem Shaman. I think this is sort of a display of why the deck has struggled to take off in spite of its high roll potential. Is if if you really build a board kind of 1 minion at a turn, and if you stumble in your curve, you're really punished for it. And I just don't like. Where does he go from here? Right? He has the Apotheosis. He can Galakrond can be drawn with Kronks, or Edelweiss can just wait. Leo just has a lot to deal with, and I'm not sure how he's not gonna just concede, but this is tough. He can clear the first version of the 5/1, but then doesn't that just give Edelweiss a whole scary board? I don't know.
yeah.
Okay, choosing to hold off on the Goblin Lackey.
On wings of destruction,
As we see the Clerical Scales coming in here.
Oh my lord, double Apotheosis this turn?
No. Uh-oh. Oh,
well,
boy.
One Apotheosis, and then we're going to see what spells we get from the Mage Scribe.
Yep.
Cool. Let's summon a copy of the Lifesteal buffed minion.
With
Divine Shield.
Hurt.
I mean, it's just a 1/1, but that's still healing, right? Like that's
exactly. Yep.
Yep. Just leave it. What's it gonna do?
Leodaric is now. It basically. This is the thing about the aggro totem shaman that you brought up, is that we gotta hit it fast. You gotta hit it fast. Otherwise, the balance is going to tip heavily in favor of your opponent, as we've seen now 2 times for Leodaric taking on against Edelweiss. Because we saw this in game 2. Edelweiss was able to tip the scales to her favor once she was able to board clear. And I don't see really a whole lot that Leodaric can do to really stay alive, because you still have all these attack minions and everything.
Yep. I mean, he's gonna play it out. Obviously, he's gonna make Edelweiss have it, which is fun for me because then I still get to live in a world where Edelweiss gets to bloodlust Leo down, which is silly.
Yep.
But it seems like maybe not even needed here. Looking at a lot of damage. Yep, just gonna taking the time. No worries. Easy peasy. The board's locked. Who cares? Yep, there it is.
Yep, there's the surrender from Leodaric, and now Edelweiss. Again, we talked about. We thought that if you're Leodaric, you had to have gotten right in front, add some damage to Edelweiss. Edelweiss again was able to tip the scales, and now we're going to be seeing that Paladin come into play here for Edelweiss, going up 2-1, looking to go 4-2 in Division 3 and make the jump to a top 2 spot. If you're Leodaric, your season is practically on the line here. You gotta force a game 5. The question is, do you try your luck with the Shaman again, or do you switch it up and go with the Paladin? We have our second mirror match of this stream.
Looking for a bright side for Leo here, and I think I found it without having to reach quite so hard, and it is that Broom Paladin actually kind of excels when it's behind on board. It's the reason it sort of overtook the pure Libram version is that you have things like the Pinflinger and the animated broomstick to come back onto the board once your opponent has committed resources to the board, and you clear it, and then now you have a board and they don't, and you're in control of the game, right? The issue is sort of like the other extent. There's a lot less healing. There's the two Librams that heal and create an 8/8 taunt, but there's not 12 healing cards like in the Shaman. There's not a healing hero power. So maybe you clear one board from the Shaman. If the Shaman is able to bring in the second board, maybe you're done. I think the Paladin, in spite of being kind of an anti-aggro deck, again, it has more opportunities to stumble, and Shaman can punish a stumble, right? Like that's what it does. So I think that's the bright spot. If the broomstick isn't there, then I think maybe Leo sneaks in, and then we have a weird broom mirror, which I don't know if you've played that. It's a weird mirror, so I hope that I want to see that mirror. It's super strange, very fun to think about. So hope we see it, but again, our fate is in the players' hands as much as their own. So.
Yep. Yeah. I'm just gonna say this right now. If you're Leo, I would say game 4, go with the Pally. The aggro Shaman hasn't been working for you here. You're already down 2-1. In both games 2 and 3, you were ahead. Then you fell behind. You were unable to recover. Late in the games, you gotta find your momentum. You gotta find a way to get back into this thing. I just think that the mirror match is the best option to at least force a game 5. And I guess Leo's just not going to listen to me. I'm trying to help you here, dude. I'm trying to help you here as we see Shaman again. Edelweiss trying to go for the series win, bringing in the Broom Pally here. Really a good start, I think, for Edelweiss. You got the bright disciple there. And then the zero cost card that let's bring in 2 one cost minions, and we see the imprisoned Sun Gill right off the bat for Edelweiss.
That actually is if I could pick a 1-cost minion to get against Totem Shaman, that would be on my list of consider. That would be a nominee, I would say. If this were the Oscars of 1-cost minions, that would be on the nominee list. It just, there's not really many minions to kill for the first couple of turns, and then all of a sudden, oh look, now I have a board and can chip away at your totems.
Yep.
I do also like Edelweiss's keep of the Libram of Hope as well.
Yes.
I think just going in, eventually I'm going to discount that, and Shaman has no way to Totem Shaman has no way to get through it. But here we go, the big Goliath, the early Goliath, and no hexes or devolving missiles this time. No funny business.
Nope.
Edelweiss has to take care of this 5/5 the old-fashioned way.
In some way, shape, or form. We see a Salhit's Pride come into play here. Another card that can actually help you with the 1-cost minions and everything, adds some depth in that regard. Meanwhile, Leodaric will attack face, and if you're Edelweiss, you got the 1-cost taunt minion. We also got the 4-cost legendary there as well.
Yeah, this hand is a bit of gubbins, as oh man, I can't believe I just said that. As Sottle and our other British casters in the Hearthstone community like to say. But yeah, I mean, he gets to clear the 5/5 and knock down a totem of his choosing. But really, sorry, Edelweiss. She gets the clear, and really Edelweiss whiffing on the the Libram discounts that this deck is really built around. Just gonna go ahead and commit a Pin Flinger to the board without the Spellburst bounce back effect, which I kind of like. You're running 2 of them. They're not as valuable as the list that run just the one. And if there's damage going into the Pin Flinger, that is damage not going into your face. So I don't think you're that concerned.
Nope.
And now Leo's falling behind on board again.
But we still got the spell damage totem there. So Supershire portal is still an option. I don't think it's necessarily one you would want to do right now unless you want to get rid of that taunt.
I'm very torn between killing the taunt and killing the Pin Flinger. Sorry, that was my dog scratching himself very loudly for no reason. I'm torn between those two. Killing the taunt, I mean, you have to kill it eventually, and it's going to soak up some bloodlust damage. But the Pin Flinger is just very scary. You haven't really seen that many spells yet from Edelweiss, so you know that she's going to have some sometime soon, and your minions don't have any attack, so even if you whiff on one turn, there's multiple opportunities for it to come down. Yeah, it's just too much of a threat. It's just too versatile. It can do too many things. And the 0-4 isn't killing anything yet.
Yeah. So we'll see the 3/3 Murloc Warlord come into play here. It'd be a good card if Leodaric was running Warlock, but they're not. So
should have just been playing Murloc Shaman like back in the good old days.
Yep.
Oh, and now he's overloaded on turn 5. That was the downside of the Servant Shrine Portal play, of course. But he's got a good 6, and then 7 he can Totem Goliath Hero Power if he wants it. Runic Carving is gonna be. He's got some boards coming up, right? He just needs to get through one time, which I feel like I've said several times as Totem Shaman, but that's just the life that you lead as a Totem Shaman player.
Libram of Justice comes into play. Oh boy.
Hey, there's the wisdom. Choosing to protect the life total instead of a minion. Okay.
And that just clears Leo's board. Already starting to fall behind there.
He can overload 2 to deal with this board just a little bit and still be able to play the Totem Goliath next turn.
Yeah.
If he so chooses, which seems not too bad.
I wonder.
You're fighting for a board. And crucially, they all survive for at least a turn.
That's true.
And they're also totems. I forgot about there are treants and totems. It's just not a card I see a ton on ladder. Forgive me, but yeah. So that means that that totemic surge can come into play if Leo wants to clear off the 4/7, but choosing to hang on to it. Gonna try to save the surge for a combo with Bloodlust to just steal a lethal.
Yep.
But there are more taunts in the way coming down.
Although a Truth Seeker coming into play here, plus a Hand of a Doll. Oh, that's just...
We've got taunts on taunts on taunts here. Next turn, this is just another Totem Shaman coming up short.
Yep, because you got 3 Librams in hand for Edelweiss. We see Totem Goliath coming into play.
Yeah, we can clear this taunt, right? But then we've got 3 more. Oh, and these next ones have Divine Shield, so that's an extra attack that you're taking down.
Yeah,
and some of them heal, so if you can get through one to do some damage, that's going to be negated.
Yeah,
it's really rough. The Totem Shaman just really coming up short in this series.
Yeah, 0-3. Had some promise early on, but it just fell flat.
Yep, and here's the first one. I like the sequencing as well. Saving up for the Disciple to come down later for cheaper, maybe along with the Libram of Hope.
Yep.
Sure, we'll take out the healing totem. Makes sense.
Yep. Now we have Totemic Might and Bloodlust. Really, you still gotta deal with that 8/8 taunt though. That's the thing.
And the other 8/8 taunt. Oh, and also the 4/5 divine shield taunt.
It is not it is not looking good for Leodaric here. I see
you have
no
hero power, totemic might, and Storm's Wrath. Sorry, the name slipped my mind. Is sort of your only play. I guess if you can't even clear. I guess if you bloodlust, that becomes a 1 and 3 is
but
a
you
4.
don't have. But
You clear the
you don't have
8/8 with
enough.
you clear the 8/8 with a bloodlust, which sets up for some future bloodlust shenanigans. But at this point, he can build the board 1, maybe 2 totems at a time. So he's in a tough spot because I mean he's used the 5/5 and
Leo just gives up. So Edelweiss, rough game 1, but 3 straight victories. Edelweiss goes a 4-2 and basically moves into a top 2 position in Division 3 with that victory. Leodaric, however, falls to 1-4, and any hope of really contending for a wildcard spot essentially just ends right there. And really, when you think about it, Leo had a ton of hype after that game 1 because we saw the warrior come into play. We saw everything just work well for him in that game. But then you bring out 3 straight shamans. After the second game, you realize shaman's not working. The matchup isn't going to work with you. Why would you bring it out for game 4 when you knew you're in a do or die situation?
Yeah, I think he sort of knew that in his case, tiebreakers are maybe less of a big deal. He was gonna have to get a win with it eventually, and I guess if you're gonna lose a series, better to lose a series earlier in the evening so you have more of your night. But yeah, he was gonna have to get there eventually, so that's where we are. But now I think we are on to our second match of the night, which is JaredPullet and Level 9001.
Yep. So once again, Edelweiss getting the win 3-1 this series against Leodaric. Edelweiss moving up to top 2 in Division 3. As Kaz said, we are getting right into our second match. And really, this was the match that was we just want to say this match was played earlier today. They tried to make it live. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be due to some scheduling conflict. However, with the power of technology, 2020 after all, we were able to get this game. We'll be able to broadcast it for you live. Both players coming in at 3-1. Both players coming in with pretty unique decks here. As you see similarities in Demon Hunters, Level bringing in also the Druid and a Hunter with the Mage being banned. Jared bringing in a Pally, and here we go to Shaman again, and a Warrior being banned. So let's take a look at the deck list here for our second game of the stream, ladies and gentlemen. As we take a look at level, like we said, the Mage got banned. It was I believe it was supposed to be, it was supposed to be a Turtle Mage, and then the nerfs happened. So I think I don't think we're gonna see that in play from the get go. So we got Demon Hunter, Druid, and Hunter for level, and an archetype that we've seen recently kind of make his appearance, especially with the Ashes of Outlands expansion. Highlander Hunter has been a thing, and it's starting to become enter like zoo lock status where it's there, it's always going to be there. You can tweak it here and there, but it's still just gonna hang out with you. It's still gonna be a pain in your side here.
Yeah, the Highlander decks are pretty useful, especially I like them post nerfs just because it's pretty hard to mess up building them, you know what I mean? There's 30 individual cards. Even if you don't get the exact best 30, maybe you get 33 and 34 in some slots. So you're still doing pretty well. I think there's been one that's sort of making the rounds on ladder that's a very aggressive. It's almost Face Hunter with Zephyrus and Bran. Level 9001, slowing down the curve a little bit, adding in Primordial Explorer with some value, Varanus to sort of counter some big boards, and again the weapon hate with one ooze, one sticky finger as well. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's pretty standard list. Desert Spear is there, which I think there's been some debate about that versus True Aim Crescent. Level 9001 choosing to play Spear for a more anti-aggro option, generating those 1/1s to kill off some stuff. And it makes sense bringing that, why he would bring Varanus as well.
Mm-hmm. You also got Zigzor Apex Predator, which has really been a staple in Hunter decks since Ashes of Outland came into play. And then Damultainer Brand, which is really an essential in Highlander decks, period, because you're able to add that 8/8 threat right off the get-go. If you're level. Switching over now to the Druid, looks to be your standard I'm sorry, excuse me, your revamped Malygos Druid deck that we've kind of seen a bit of a we've seen a recent influx with Ashes of Outland and Scalaman's Academy. Malygos Druid has always kind of been low key hanging around there because it has always been viable. But with the recent expansions, it's really moved into the limelight as a real viable option for competitive Hearthstone players in the Druid camp.
It's a little risky on ladder to my take, but I think in a conquest format where you can ban away some stuff and expect it, and especially after the nerfs, you're one turn behind on the huge tempo gain you get from guardian animals. So I think now you're just using guardian animals as a draw tool. You're still drawing through your whole deck, right? So putting in the combo shell, and you do still sometimes get the guardian animals nut starts where you don't necessarily need the combo. So it's the type of combo deck that I really enjoy. I think it's fun to play. I think good players. I think it rewards knowledge of the deck and knowing when you do need to go for the full combo and when you can sacrifice some combo pieces for tempo and play, I guess, more like normal Hearthstone. So it's a fun deck, and sort of also with that, I think we're seeing a bit of level 9001 here. You have the Soul Demon Hunter, which I think operates in kind of the same way. It's a little bit of a combo deck in which you often win with a huge 15 hit to the face with your weapon, but you can also just kind of tempo out. Level 9001 coming in looks mostly standard. There's a Vulpera Scoundrel in there, which I haven't seen too much of, and that just kind of looks like the 30th card. Level 9001 said, okay, these cards are all really good. I want 2 of them because they are very good cards. Oh, and I want Kane to avoid taunts. Oh, okay, what do I do with number 30? Vulpera Scoundrel seems good, can generate me more twin slices. I love it. Consistent, smooth, clean. I think this is just a pretty well thought out lineup. Still believes in the Druid, so we'll see how that turns out.
One thing to one card to keep an eye on in the Soul Demon Hunter is the Max Theridin. I'm not necessarily sure how that's going to fit in, unless you're somehow, some way able to get off and attack those three those 3/1/3 warders. Because if you're running anything that can silence one of those warders, you basically have instead of 7 spots, you'll have 6, because that makes Sarah just gonna be sitting there looking pretty. You won't be able to do anything at all. So I'm interested to see where that card is going to come into play for level 9001. But let's switch over now to Jared here as we get ready to go with our games here. Jared bringing in Shaman, Paladin, and Demon Hunter. Similar Demon Hunter strategy that Jared's bringing in this time around. It's really similar in all aspects of it from what I'm seeing. The only difference actually would be the
Got a Pinflinger, Consume Magic. He's got kind of the more the standard list if you're running Pinflinger, right? Which is just again, it generates a lot of cheap spells, especially with the double wand maker. You're going to have a lot of opportunities to bounce Pinflinger, and
Yep.
it just imagine not playing Pinflinger. It's a sick card. It's so fun. It's skill testing. It's incredibly flexible. It costs. You can use it to do chip damage. You can clear
Yep.
off minions. You can use it to taunt your opponent by calling them a loser 5 times a turn. Just incredibly versatile. I really, really like it. And then also a believer in the Pinflinger Broom Paladin. I believe that's just like sort of the first Funky Monkey list. The Murgur McGurgle, Double Wild Pyro, Single Life Forge Blessing. Yeah, I feel like that is just the original list that first took the ladder by storm with Funky Monkey's innovation of the archetype.
Yep.
And I think JaredPullet going with a "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" line. Hard to argue with it. It's a strong deck. It can steal wins, especially with that mage ban. It doesn't really have any other terrible matchups.
Nope. No, and then you got the control shaman here. It's kind of similar to what we saw with Edelweiss's shaman in our earlier matchup here. You got double tidal wave, double earthquake. You got the lurker below filling in here. And also Harrison Jones. You got Haggis' scheme, the Fist of Rod Den, which, as we all know, if you have the spells for it, it could cause a lot. You could put a lot of pressure on your opponent right away. And then double walking fountain as well as double witch's brew. So you're setting the health. You got the devolving missiles. Control shaman. If you can play it right, you're basically going to be set in the long run. In this game, if you're Jared.
Yeah, I think someone about Control Shaman just seems to be really making the rounds in the Aspirant crew. I know Anna Jane on our casting team,
Yes.
after casting a matchup last week, was typing in our production Discord saying how she was loving it and had beaten a ton of people in fatigue. So it's kind of fun. I haven't actually seen it that much aside of my own testing with these decks, but they're pretty similar. You can see there are enough differences. The lurker below, only
Yep.
one piece of weapon hate, double hex from Jared, the instructor Fireheart. So it's definitely an archetype that's still up in the air, and that means it's pretty flexible for what you're trying to target. So yeah, it should be pretty cool. I think we're gonna see, again, it's a deck that you have to do 2 heroes worth of damage to kill, I feel like, but a lot of decks can just get there. I think especially the Highlander Hunter with the Bran and the Zeph, if Crush takes a turn, or if Zeph can pull out some stuff. So there's, like in most Hearthstone games, because it's a great game, it's anybody's match. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
So before we go into JaredPullet versus Level 9001, I do want to give a bit of a situation in Division 4 where these guys are playing. Both competitors, as we said, coming into this match 3-1. Whoever wins is basically going to take sole possession of second place, with German Shep sitting there right now, sitting in first place at 4-1. Obviously, the we don't know the results of these the matches. We won't know until Tuesday. So whoever wins basically, as technically right now, will be in the tie for first place with German Shep. In regards to figuring out what happened in German Shep. So whoever wins this is really in a prime position to be in that top. And if whoever loses, here, thing, your season's not over yet. You still have a chance for a wild card spot. You just are kind of in a worse off position depending on how this game goes. If it's a 3-2 match, you're basically going to be fine. It sucks you got the loss. You're down the standings like one spot at most, or maybe you won't even move. But if you go 3-0, that's when you're kind of thinking, okay, we may have to kind of regroup here a little bit and think about what our play is going to be next week. So a lot on the line for the winner. And depending on how this game goes, we'll see what happens with the poor soul who loses this one. But Level 9001 and JaredPullet, basically winner is in the prime position in Division 4, as we looks like we're getting ready for game number 1 of this series. Again, this is our second game of our week 5 stream. I believe we're getting ready.
Yeah,
Yep,
let's
there we
get
go.
into it.
Yep, there we go. So we see the control shaman right off the bat from JaredPullet. And we will see Soul Demon Hunter for level 9001.
Yep, and we are off. Yep, easy. Let's play the one drop on one. Quick turn. Not much thinking for level 9001.
Yep. Get the soul fragments in place. Jared meanwhile just saying, you know what, I got nothing, so let's switch over to level 9001, who will just hero power. And you would think you would want to use the twin slice for an early swing of tempo for a bit in this game, but decided to hold off as we see the Demon Claws come into play again. And the Mana Feeder comes in as well, draws a card.
Yeah, I like
And
holding the twin slice. It's
yeah,
this with all the healing that Shaman has, even in the I think this version is maybe slightly less healing than Edelweiss's, but not by much. So your chip damage is a thing that is less reliable in this matchup, I think. I think you want to save that twin slice for the biggest single hit that you can do all at once.
so we're gonna see Meryl Slicer come into play, add 2 more soul fragments, and does 7 damage. So Jared is already behind in this one, but it's not something that you really had to worry about early on, because Jared has some interesting positions. You can bring in the groundskeeper, you can bring in the diligent note taker, and then the torrent. Knock that out for a bit, and then you also add a legendary, and we see the reliquary come into play here already for
I'm
for
so
Jared.
taken by Shaman. Like, is it just the deck? I understand we're on turn 4, but I'm sitting here thinking, Demon Hunter doesn't do 30 on
No,
one swing. That's just not real. They just don't have the mana for it. There's no way. And you can just heal up all of their chip damage. So, all right, I've been converted by turn 4 of our like 3rd Shaman game tonight. I'm a believer. I'm taking Shaman to ladder tomorrow. I'm calling it right now. I for sure just jinxed this outcome maybe, but look at that. It just heals. I'm gonna clear your 3/2, summon another Reliquary of Souls maybe.
I mean, you still got a torrent in play. If you really wanted to, you could, but I think it might be best to save that just for later. Just in
What are
case
you gonna? What do we need for later? Oh, boo. I mean, the things you need later are glaive bound, and you already have answers to that in your hand. Is really my argument. That's sort of the only big one, and I believe Jared is only running one glaive bound adept anyway. That is correct. So, I mean, it's probably better. It's a pretty high value resource, and it can cost 1 later. Or you can play it for 4 to generate a 4 mana legendary, but I'm not sure why you wouldn't want more Reliquary Primes in your deck. They're huge taunts that Demon Hunter has to deal with, and he can't silence them with Consume Magic. I'm a believer. Shaman's here. It can heal 1,000,000 damage. Look, he had to use a twin slice.
Yeah, so twin slice comes into play. Knocks out the groundskeeper.
Okay, my excitement aside, not really that much healing. He's got a board clear here, summoning a 5 mana legendary. Sitting at 15. 15 is like relatively safe though, without any weapons equipped.
Now imagine if the Greenskin's ability actually was able to go off when it got summoned. That would just that would be incredible here. As Gul'dan comes into play, we see 1 soul fragment, 2 soul fragments,
not what you necessarily want to see. Oh,
3 soul fragments. Oh boy! So level 9001's already at full health, but again, not really what you want to see early
some
on.
discounts, and then making your sociologists and your soul shards worse later on.
Ooh,
that's fun.
Going for the ancestral spirit there.
Yep.
Gonna
Yeah, I'll
put
have
on
another green
the
skin.
yeah.
I'll take a Thanos, and I can just do it again.
Why not?
Whoa, doubles. I do like splitting it. Oh,
Ooh.
oh, wow.
Oh.
We
Lore
have just
Walker
entered
Joe.
the Twilight Zone. I am stoked. This is gonna be like a weird Alucia thing, maybe. I mean, he'll probably just twin slice or something to kill it, but then so it'll be less exciting. But
Yep.
think of the potential, Jimmy. Think of how much fun. Do you think they would play just for us? They should be like, we're gonna do crazy stuff so our casters can react.
They probably
Oh,
saw the sheet and go, "Wow, Casgar and Jimmy are casting. Let's just play on, guys. Come on, let's go. Let's go." Level
If only.
9001 is really contemplating this because you got that Lore Walker Cho in play. You got Skull Gul'dan, but you're also gonna have a real full hand, so it's not really any point in putting that in play. Second slice will now be
I
added
don't mind the
toward.
second slice.
No.
Using. Yeah, I don't mind this at all. He needs
Nope.
the card draw more than it's gonna benefit Jared.
Yeah.
As excited as I was about Lore Walker, I think now that I have calmed down a bit, it's actually just not that big of a deal. Especially in the position Jared's in, he needs to use damage, and he can also fill up Jared's hand to potentially mill some healing, which might be what he's going for right now. Yep, I believe that is 10.
Yep.
Sorry, we do not have the spec client. I can't necessarily mouse it over at the moment.
No.
Oh,
Level 9000 forgot to attack. Ran out of time, so use all those spells
that
for
hurts
nothing.
so much.
Oh,
That was a lot of
no.
damage too. Oh
I
boy.
mean, we might be seeing Tidal Wave come into play. No. Maybe. You would think. Yep. Tidal Wave comes into
Yep,
play.
give him a tidal wave, sure. You know,
And now that adds
as the
10
control
cards.
shaman, your opponent's health is just not a big deal.
Now that adds 10 cards for oh no, it burns a soul fragment. Oh.
This is a pretty clean clear if he wants it. I mean, you have to take 5, so it's not that clean, but it's not not clean.
No.
Oh wait, he has Blade Dance in his hand. I am a dummy. That's super clean.
Oof.
The cleanest, some would say.
All right.
Yeah, like you can Wand Maker, finding it a 1-mana spell to fill out your hand, because I have to imagine we're gonna see the Glaive Bound come here. Oof.
Oh boy.
The worst, easily the worst outcome, I think.
Yeah.
Although in this case, does it give him another Glaive Bound? Glaive Bound is not a demon. Okay.
So we'll see Glaive Bound Adept come into play, and the Lightning Bloom gets burned. But we will see the Walking Fountain come into play, as well as Torrent.
You ever devolving missiles first here instead of the Torrent to soften it up so your Walking Fountain has to take less damage? Nope. Okay.
Yes, not. Actually, that was a smart play. You got board clear, but you also helped out with the your health a little bit there.
Yeah, he cleared the board. I was just thinking of devolving missiles. Like, I mean,
Soften the blow just a bit.
Similar to Torrent, like maybe one guy stays up, but your Walking Fountain also probably survives. And I'm not sure when you're going to get a better one, but
Yep. So Mana Eater comes into play. Level attack face, and then we'll see the other Glaive Bound Adept come into play as well. So now Jared gets the Hex drawn. You have all these Demon Hunter cards that you can use. But the question is, do you Hex and Hex the Adept? I don't think that Hex scheme is really powered up too much, but that Earthquake is definitely going to help.
Earthquake, you just do it now. Cool.
Yep, there you go. Clear board, another fire site. Oh, that Harrison Jones would have been wonderful if Jared still had the Fist of Raden. But we'll see Marrow Slicer number 2 for level. Soul Shard comes into play. We're going to see 10 damage here. Buckle up, it's going to hurt.
damage and not a lot of healing to be found. Gonna get the extra draw from the 2-mana Harrison. Oh, hey, look at that.
There you go.
Just say it. Yep, I like this Hex again. There's just the thing with board control tools is there aren't that many really great targets for things like Hex in Demon Hunter because so much of its damage is off the board. Devolving Missiles, again, it's in the same category as Hex, right? You use it to deal with big stuff. Demon Hunters doesn't really have that much big stuff. You're perfectly happy to leave a 2/3 up and take some healing here.
Yep. Wizard Brew will come into play here 3 times, and then you'll have the second slice to attack.
Yeah, I think just freeing up some hand space here.
Yep.
And to the left of the Skull of Gul'dan.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have a spell. You would have had a spell. Kind of in the middle there, but you definitely use the Skull to Gul'dan next turn.
Sure, yeah, he's just getting one closer to that.
Now we get the Eldraki Warblades, which is really gonna help for health and everything.
Yeah, gonna go ahead and gain some life. Is under a little bit of pressure. Again, as we talked about earlier, your life total is just not really that big of a deal. I feel like in this matchup in particular, the Warblades is more of a damage source than a source of healing. I guess deciding if he wants to sink a Twin Slice into killing the Harrison. The other option is to trade in the Beetle and then deal 3 to everything.
I think they're just going
and just
all
crank
in.
up the hill. Yep, I like this.
Yep, brings it down to 18.
Gonna leave Harrison up. Seems fine. It's not really a big deal. Sure.
Yep. We see Torrent now, as we see Vivid Spores.
Yep,
and Skull Gul'dan.
Oh, you like Tidal Wave? How about for 5?
Oh, that's the lurker below. Keep that in mind.
What is the no lethal setup here? Kane is 3. The Twin Slice is 4. 7, 8. 6 short of lethal, so quite short. Nothing we can really deal with here.
As Soul Shear comes in and play, knocks out at least one Harrison forward, but guess what? We have another. As a Kane gets drawn.
Would be thrilled that you just referred to Harrison Jones as Harrison Ford. I think
that's a Harrison Ford.
You did. No, I think it's good. I think it's actually very funny, and it means that they're
the hell said I'll take it. You know.
that's what they're going for. That's just Blizzard's just so happy that their joke worked. Yeah, it's just sort of a
kind of dragging on here.
Whole array of options. Nah, I mean it's fine. You're gonna go ahead and totem first to get the extra heal.
Yep,
I like it. It's sort of your only source, killing off your own stuff and weakening your Harrison, but you're fine. 19's a lot more than it's 6 more than 13 actually. I can do math. But 6 damage is a lot.
Soul Fragment,
Soul
Fragment. And
there's the mag.
Yep.
Double hexes in hand, of course. Mag's sort of the only big target for it, and I think obviously Jared could use him liberally because he's running double Devolving Missiles, double hex.
Yep. So Mag Theridon's gonna come into play here, and if you're Jared, you're thinking, "Crap! Oh wait, no, they have a hex."
2 hexes. Jared has 2 hexes. Jared is chilling.
Yeah, Jared's just like, at first it's like, oh my god, Jared's in trouble. There's like, oh wait, no, he's fine.
Nah, Jared's got the 1 mana hex into the heal for 8, or heal for 4, excuse me.
Yep. Good play there. And Level just like, well, that was really the last thing I could only do. No Mag Theridon, not gonna help out here. So
my adopted favorite deck. Coming in hot. Love it.
Jared gets the win. Really, a thrilling matchup all the way. You want to talk about like a ping pong game? This was really the emphasis of that. It was back and forth all the way around. After Max Sheridan got pulled into play, hey, even I got concerned. I thought it was going to it was gonna be, oh boy, that's gonna be some trouble here for Jared. But then you see in the hand, oh wait, they have a hex. Nah, he's good. He's fine. But we talked earlier in the stream about Control Shaman and all that stuff, and how viable it is. So far, Control Shaman is 2-0 in this stream. You know, we saw it with
The deck.
with
It's
Edelweiss.
just the deck.
It's just a deck.
It lost the Bomb Warrior. Fine. It's the deck. It's great. And I had
yeah.
more things to say about that game, but I was really just too delighted when you referred to it as a ping pong match that I forgot
Really all
it.
it
So
was.
I'm just gonna revel in the happiness of that term.
I mean, it literally like, hey, you lose health, you lose health. You gain health, you gain health. You lose health, you lose health. That's really all it was, you know? You want to talk about ping pong matches, but if your level, you can't be bad, you can't be mad with that result. It just things didn't go your way, especially when you pull the Max Sheridan. So the question is now, do you try again? Maybe we'll see a dual a mere Demon Hunter match here. Or do you try with the druid or the hunter? I don't think you really have a bad selection if you're level here. You're down, sure, you're down 1-0, but you know, Demon Hunter worked well for you. Just the matchup just didn't uh work in your favor in the end.
Yeah, I think level is still very much in this game. I do feel like the shaman was probably always gonna get a win off the hunter, the demon
Mm-hmm.
hunter. So yeah, I think level's totally fine, and I think that they would be eager to get into game two, as am I. I'm excited for some more card slinging action.
We all are. We all are. As game 2 gets underway here, and guess what? Oh no, I thought it was gonna be dual Demon Hunter here instead. Level decides to opt out, go for the Hunter with this one here. Puts Demon Hunter on the shelf, but Jared brings out the Demon Hunter and is trying to go up 2-0 in this series against level 9001 here. So Jared will use hero power immediately for an attack. Level 9000, meanwhile, got the little side quest there.
This is looking like a pretty strong aggressive start. He's got the initiate coin quest on 1.
Yep.
Follow it up with, the snake trap if he wants it on 2. Maybe I like him to save the coin. That actually, I like the coin save because if it's playing around the turn 2 removal that Demon Hunter has.
Yeah, because you got the Soul Shear in hand for Jared.
Yeah. On the other hand, I don't know when else you're playing the side quest, so yeah, I think this is probably better. Definitely considering, that was, it seems like I just went through the same thought process that level 9001 did. Just, if you have Soul Shear, do I want to burn the coin? And you have plenty of follow-up, the hero power to do some chip damage and advance that side quest.
Yep.
Um,
Be like the Face Stalker in play as well, but that's the card you can definitely say it's like turn 4.
sure, you
for
did
like
just
some combo.
Did just see the Soul Shear though. Yeah, it's worth considering. I think this is the safer line for sure, especially having already drawn a trap. You want to make sure you don't draw anymore. Does put you a little behind on tempo, but I think you're able to make it up pretty easily once you get those secrets in.
So we'll draw a Morag Bone Crusher, I believe that is.
Yep. Easy 2-drop. I like it. Just hero powering. Let's just advance the quest. He's going to finish up his side quest and get a secret and a 2/3 in play next turn. So he's going to have a board right back and also a board that represents a lot of damage.
Yeah. Yeah, so real good play for level 9001 here. Face Stalker, hero power, side quest done. 3 leopard gnomes. Oh yeah, and you also got a trap in play, or a secret in play, excuse me.
Yep,
And
can't
now
quite see it. Does he only run 2 secrets?
I
Surely not.
no
He's got a freezing.
This we saw the snake trap earlier. Let's see here. They have I'm not really.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Got the pressure plate on the board. Okay. Thanks, producer.
Our production team always kicking ass and taking names as we do these streams here for Hearthstone
I get the snake trap in play.
with the eagle horn bow in play as well.
Yep, I like pushing face.
Yep.
Highlight Hunter in this iteration is really like I said, it's a face hunter deck with Bran. So you're sacrificing the consistency of drawing your other damage cards for the ability to play an 8/8 on turn 7, which is pretty good.
I don't think you would want to play Skull Gul'dan here, but okay, I guess you're going to anyways. You'll get the draws and everything. I mean, you'll get a Soul Fragment, cool, but not really the best option. I feel at least you would want to try and make it the an outcast effect. As you see, Lord Keeper Polcat come into play here.
Which of course means that we're seeing a Bran next turn.
Yep.
Upside to that is you get to guarantee it. The downside is of Polkelt in a list like this, especially open deck, your opponent knows a Bran is coming, so they can prepare for it pretty well. I think the only preparation here is to heal, though. So you're going to have to play the Warblades, and then I guess just all of your Twin Slices. That's all your mana.
That's
and
kill the best you could do.
Kill the 4/5. Is he still dead from that?
I don't think
he. Oh, that helps. Okay.
Yeah, that really helps.
That helps less. It clears this. Okay, so if he clears this board, he can't play that and heal. Okay, so he's dead if he does that. All right. So next option, you got to equip. I think he's just dead either way, because at this point, if he equips and double Twin Slice, his attack goes up to 8. And there's more than that. He's just dead.
Yeah.
For 8, he's probably gonna take 4 to clear the Polkelt, or he's gonna go face 18.
Yeah, gonna go face.
I do love Illidan's Hallows End emote. I think that's just really funny. Well done on the design team. I told my fiance loves Halloween, and I told her that the Hearthstone characters have like special Halloween stuff, and she was truly delighted. She was like, that is the most fun thing I've ever heard.
So Level9001 is able to tie it up here, 1-1. Really just a quick victory here with the Highlander Hunter. And you had a sense of where this game was going as soon as you had that side quest get drawn in turn, I believe it was turn 1. You had the initiate, coin, side quest, you were set. You were set.
It's a very consistent Highlander deck just because its curve is so low nowadays. A lot of Highlander decks historically have kind of struggled to draw what they need at the right time, but when you're a Highlander deck like Hunter that is so focused on being on the front foot, you just need stuff to play to spend your mana. And so when you have a curve that low with that many 1s, 2s, and 3s, you're just a lot of the time going to have a very consistent early game, and then with Polkelt to draw into your late game finishers. It's a powerful deck, and it did what it does, I should say.
Yeah, and the thing is, going to Jared's Demon Hunter here, you had options. Unfortunately, you just fell behind really quick. And when you're in that deep of a hole that early in the game, it's very difficult to come out unless you get the tools right out the bat. Unfortunately, you got the Eldrazi Warblades, but it was already too little, too late at that point. For Jared, so not a bad start with the Demon Hunter, but it just the draws weren't going his way. in that regard. That really benefited Level trying to get the a quick and decisive victory here in game number 2. Now, this is where things get interesting. Do we see dual Demon Hunter, or do we see some other variation? Because it has worked to a sense for both competitors. The only similarities is they are both 0-1 with it.
Yep, no, I agree with you. I think level 9001's weak spot right now is probably the Druid. So again, it's up to him. He could take the Leo spot of like, well, I'm going to play my weak deck to give it as many times as possible to steal a win, or I'm going to avoid it to try to get the game win. So just about how each player approaches the matchup. Like I said, it's conquest, Q order, not the biggest deal, but can come into play in some instances for sure.
As we get ready for game number 3 of our second match of this stream, and we will see Demon Hunter versus. Wait a minute, I thought Warrior was banned. Hold up.
Did I? This looks like a Bomb Warrior coming in. All right,
So-
well, looks like we have a Bomb Warrior. We will let the tournament admins deal with this. Right now, we can cast some Hearthstone. I am seeing that level 9001 didn't even bring a Warrior.
I'm not
Looks like he
seeing-
did. So we will cast this now. We'll see what happens, and we'll let the admin team take over this later. Right now,
Yep.
we're gonna play.
Yep, throwing us off for a little bit, but that's fine. No, nothing wrong with a little curveball here. And Jared goes back with the Demon Hunter, hero power right to the face to start game 3.
Yep, this is a really close matchup, and I've actually seen some debate over when it's favored. But no Ringe Caliber yet. Oh, hey, look at that. Never mind. I was about to say no Ringe
were
Caliber
saying?
obviously makes it much harder for the Bomb Warrior. So I'm gonna say the inverse of that now and say Ringe Caliber on 4 makes it much easier for the Bomb Warrior.
Yep.
All right, you're just gonna slow it down, use the hero power, draw some cards.
Yep.
All right, shuffling some bombs in. Here we go. And the bombs are... Demon Hunter is weird because it does heal a lot. So if you get a lot of the bombs early, that damage is maybe eventually going to be negated. But the bombs are kind of good because Demon Hunter does draw a lot. So if you can get a lot of chain of bombs, you're looking good, which is obviously, some RNG, and it's debatable whether that's good or bad. Again, as a caster, I think it's fun. As a player, I also like Bomb Warrior. I like that I can, if I'm about to lose a game, I can swing a bomb face and maybe get saved. Also interesting to note, there is no weapon tech in the list we have for JaredPullet's Demon Hunter, which means that level 9001 can be a little bit more liberal with this upgrade and Horde Pillager, because he knows that he's going to get all 3 swings in for 4 damage each,
Yep.
into JaredPullet's face.
Just adding more and more bombs as we see bomb number 1 already against Jared. We do see a pen flinger, however. I think that'd be the smart play here.
Yep. Yep, I like it. Let's just spend the mana, get some chip damage. We have the clear. Yep, I like it. What else are you gonna do? Like, the one... I mean, I guess the other thing you're gonna do, that's pretty much just the equivalent of hero powering, I guess.
It was looking good with the soul fragment, and then the bomb comes into play. So level 9000 now with Wrench Caliber number 3 of this game.
There's a lot of bombs.
Oh yeah, this is gonna hurt real quickly here. As we see bomb number 3 going to the deck for Jared here.
There's the heals. Gonna play it relatively early. Yep.
Yep, it's
Gonna go ahead and swing because he was gonna be under a bomb break point. I think that's the other sort of fun thing about playing both against an as bomb warrior. It's just everything is in fives, which is hopefully an easy multiple to do math in, right? So you're just like, okay, buff 20. That's like a whole other bomb I can draw.
so level
So I
9000
think
here, bringing in Galakron, bringing in the Blastmaster Boom.
yep,
Oh boy,
that is big time
that
as well.
is
The extra stats aren't really
huge.
that big of a deal for that particular card. It's just now you get to throw a bunch of boom bots on sooner, and that's when Bomb Warrior can follow up all this immediate bomb pressure with a very early Blastmaster boom. I think that's when the matchup tilts in its favor.
Yeah.
And obviously in every matchup, like that's game plan. That's maybe stating the obvious, but I think in particular in the Demon Hunter, that's how you overcome their heal potential. Is okay, cool. You just healed a lot. You've used one War Blades. Cool, you're back up. There's still a million bombs in your deck, and now there's a Blastmaster boom that's gonna do a lot more damage.
Now the question
Oh.
is, if you're level, do you go with the Blastmaster Boom, get those bombs into play, or do you go with the Kronks and try to do something like get that 8-8 taunt into play here? Because you also got Deathwing, you got Dr. Krastenov. You have options. I don't think there's really a bad option with this. It just I think it's more in Level's mind, what is the better option? What are you going to try to do with this turn? As we see Sword and Board come into play here. He gains 2 armor to kind of get back some of the armor that was played. And we see another bomb. And so we will see Blastmaster Boom and 11-11 Blastmaster Boom coming into play here. And there goes bomb. I've lost count how many bombs are in the damn deck right now. I've lost count.
As if I don't have my dice. I lost them in my move to do my dice trick that I learned from Necra, where
Oh, dear.
you have a dice and you just roll it for how many bombs are in each deck. So I've lost that, but now he has an 11-11 plus a bunch of bomb damage. Who knows? But this is there's no soul fragments in the deck. Oh, there's about to be. Okay, is this just suicide? I mean, surely it's not suicide to clear the bombs because they're gonna be cleared eventually. But it hurts. That's not there. You don't have a lot of stuff here.
No, you really don't. You're gonna do Soul Shear.
Yep, that's gonna clear it, and now.
Ow.
3,
ow,
5,
ow,
8,
ow,
10,
ow.
13.
Ooh,
Still
safe.
alive at
Still
1
alive.
bomb.
Even Jared's wondering, wait, how the hell is this
he's
even
dead.
possible?
Yep, that is lethal.
Yep, that's it. That's game.
All right, we have found the issue with the decks. It appears because of the nerfs the players resubmitted, so we have those updated now. Thanks for bearing with us. The thing with the series that happens every week is nerfs happen. It can kind of throw things in a wrench. So we have those updated now, and we'll be able to talk about that more adequately. But the important part now is we have a 2-1 score in favor of level 9001.
Yep, and if you're Jared, again, Demon Hunter, the soul Demon Hunter is a viable deck. The problem is that you've just had some 2 bad matchups here. Game 2 really didn't help much with that side quest right away. Game 3, it threw us off because we weren't dealing with Warrior, but Bomb Warrior has always been a thing, and it was just a mismatch from the get-go. So now if you're Jerry, you're thinking, hey, maybe we can do Demon Hunter again, but it wouldn't hurt to try the Paladin here as you try to figure out we know that Jerry's deck is safe, that what we're looking at is accurate. We also know that Demon Hunter and Hunter are in no, I'm sorry, just Hunter and Warrior are in play for level. I'm not sure. Is Demon Hunter still in play for level 9001 here, Kazgar?
Does still have so he has brought his lineup now is Mage, which was still banned. Demon Hunter Highlander Hunter, just different list, and Bomb Warrior. Yep, got it.
Okay. All right. So the only thing we had messed up was Warrior. So basically level is gonna bring back the Demon Hunter here to try and win this one here and go 4-1 in Division 4. If you're Jared, meanwhile, you could bring back the Demon Hunter and try to do a mirror match and force a game 5. But I think the safe bet might be to play the Broom Pally here. Uh to force that dual Demon Hunter, or I'm sorry, that mirror Demon Hunter game 5, and really still put yourself in a position to contend in Division 4, if not for the title or for the top 2 in that division, but at least a good spot for a wild card. Because remember, these games matter, especially for the playoffs, especially for the wild cards. It's better to go out 3-2 with a loss than 3-1 or even worse, 3-0. Obviously, we're not going to have a 3-0 here. But again, level 9,000 going for a win here in game 4 as we get this game underway. As I believe our players are ready. And yes, and just like that, Jared decided to put Demon Hunter on the shelf here as we see Paladin come into play. And we'll see Demon Hunter come into play for level 9,001, trying to get the win. Level 9,000 will get the coin. Jared gonna pull the first day of school. And Secret Keeper and a Stone Tusk Boar comes into play here. Secret Keeper doesn't really do a heck of a whole lot. They're just more for a little board presence, really.
Yeah, I think it's there to be the target for the Hand of
Yep.
Adal next turn, mostly. This is a Broom Paladin is weird because you have so many cards like Pinflinger and Wild Pyromancer that synergize. Oh, and High Abyss Allura that synergize with a 0-cost spell. It almost feels bad to play it and then get the 1-drop on 1 in a decent amount of matchups, just because you maybe wanted to cast a free spell from your deck or do 1 damage to everything. But in this case, Demon Hunter, again, most of its stuff is off board, doesn't super rely on dominating the board, and therefore you have enough tools, even with those cards that synergize, to go ahead and sacrifice it and get some early board presence. And now we can do just a boar, little 2/2.
Stone Tusk Boar going in for the attack. Deal first damage for level 9,000. As Kane gets drawn in for a level here. Not really a whole lot they can make move wise. I would say you want to keep the attack spells in check for right now, or you can play the Twin Slice. But if you just attack the Stone Boar, which looks like they're gonna do, not only add damage to yourself, but hey, guess what? You just gave Jared back the Libram.
You did damage to yourself, but it was damage that was going to be done. If you didn't attack, it was going to attack you again, and then maybe again for a 3rd time. So I think anyway, I think the attack was correct because that's just you're taking 2 damage now, but you're saving 4 damage later, for instance. But that's an animated broomstick off of the first day of school, and a risky skipper, which is they're not necessarily synergistic, but they both work to do the same thing and clear off a board. The broomstick, obviously get it there. As a paladin, you want to try to save your brooms as late as possible. I feel like that's my games as paladin tend to go better when I can save the broom for longer and use them for bigger swings. But having the 3rd broom really lets you play super, super liberally with at least one of them to maybe just clear 1 minion and force your opponents to dedicate resources. So could be a pretty big pickup there.
Another the Libram of Wisdom that got brought back after the boar got killed is now on the Silver Hand Recruit. Keep an eye on the Lady Leodaric that's in the middle of Jared's hand here, as level does damage to the face. We see the Aldor Attendant come into play here. Those Librams are going to get a good little boost. It's going to keep those brooms in check, like you said, Casguard, because they're not needed right away here because there's no board to clear.
definitely operate as a board swing mechanic, so they're a little bit dead right now. JaredPullet's hand overall actually just a little bit clunky. Just kind of generating a bunch of 1/1s, which in a deck with this many buffs, the 1/1s can turn into bigger things. In this case, able to send the buffed recruit and then buff the other recruit to clear the 6/4, and then buff the attendant to push 2 face if he so chooses, or again play pretty liberally with the broom. Sure, draw a card, see what you get before you make any other moves.
Ooh, Annabelle.
Draw another card, love it.
While Pyromancer, no need to play that one. You'll play the Libram here and just gonna attack face,
Yep.
doing 5 damage. And uh, if you're level, you're thinking, okay, you have option. You can power up the Warblades, try and gain back the health. Yeah, you drew Max Theridin. Max Theridin not really
Honestly
needed.
distracted from listening because I saw a Mag Theridin and the deal 3 damage to everything in one hand on curve. And no answer on Jared's side. I'm sitting here trying to think of a reason why I don't want a 12/12. And Jimmy, I don't have any. Level, no, you don't have any either. What do you? Okay, fine. Level has some. Level has reasons for not wanting a 12/12. I don't understand.
I mean,
Hearthstone,
yeah, it's
you can play a 12/12 early. I don't know. I try to refrain from just outright saying I don't like things on cast, but I just don't like it.
I mean, I didn't like that move either.
I like the 12/12.
You just added that. You basically put yourself in the position of welp. If you're Jerry, you're thinking, okay, I have an 8/8 with taunt and divine shield. I'm good right now. As McSerdan comes into play, and
A turn later, and now they have attacker's tempo, and they drew it last turn, right? So if you're going results oriented thinking, you're gonna say, well, they have the Library of Justice anyway, but
yep.
that just happened to happen, right? If you do by delaying a turn, you by delaying a turn, you do clear the 8/8, I guess, but I don't know. I'd rather play the 12/12. That's the reason Level9001 was saying he wanted to wait to clear it, but
Yep. But the risky skipper comes into play.
Clear it in a matchup that's tough, right? Like Broom Paladin
Yeah.
is a very hard matchup for Demon Hunter, and I think in hard matchups, it behooves you to assume that they don't have answers in a lot of the time. But here we are now, level 9,000. In fairness, I'm 1-3 and he's 3-1, so putting all our cards up on the table here. But he's still very much in it. Obviously not game winning. I'm probably harping on it too much. I just was excited to see a 12/12. 12/12s are good.
Hey, you got that win. I'm just glad I'm able to cast with you guys. But anyways, back to the game in hand. We see Soul Jailer come in. So 2 more soul shards for level 9,000. And now we see the High Abyss kind of hanging out here. And we'll see Library of Hope again to restore to full health. And oh, hey, guess what? You got the 8/8 taunt with Divine Shield again. So if you're Jared, you're thinking you got option. You got a pretty good defense here because you got the 5/6 and the 8/8 with Divine Shield. So if you're level, you're thinking, okay, I could use my cane, but do I really want to? That's the question.
Yeah, I feel like this is why this matchup is so hard, right? They have too many they have big heals, big taunts with Divine Shield, and as Demon Hunter, you really hate taunts, Divine Shields, and heals. So Paladin checks all 3 of those boxes. It's just and you have to sequence, and then of course they have Leodaric to bring them back. It's a tough spot. I like Gul'dan first because he's under a decent amount of pressure here as well. Staring at 8, 5, 13, 14, 15 on the board, plus the weapon. He can get rid of the 8/8 here, thanks to the Skull of Gul'dan. Yep. There is 6, 7, hero power for 8. Blade Dance first. Oh, Hero Power than Blade Dance. Why do I keep forgetting Blade Dance is like a card in their hands? It's not even that I'm forgetting it's a card. It's just like in their hands, and somehow it is just camouflaging in there. I don't know what's wrong with it's Blade Dance's fault. Definitely not my eyes. Yeah, I like this clear. This is
Yep.
there can't I. Yeah, you have enough ways to kill it, right? You have the
Mm.
You
Well,
have the-
no, because you got the 5/5 in check. So you can knock out the 3/2 and the 2/3, but you're not gonna be able to get that 5/5 right away unless. Oh wait, no, you got the weapon.
Yeah, I was thinking of this and I was
Yep.
like trying to figure out what threats are left, but this they have about one more board that you can expect
Yeah.
with another 5/5 and 6/4. Unfortunately, it's in the hand, but even that, like you now have tempo to answer it with attacks. Coming in to level 9001 does have the opportunity. He can. I don't know how many soul shards are in the deck. Again, this is a recorded match, so we don't necessarily have the deck tracker able to track what's going on. There are maybe some soul. Oh no, there are none. We can just look because soul shard lapidary is green and not orange, so there are no soul shards in the deck. Meaning, sociologist militia is not active, but can make it active next turn with the marrow slicer.
Yep.
Or this turn if he wants to burn it now.
Is there really a reason to burn it now?
Yeah, I think he's seeing he's seeing
Okay,
himself as on a clock. And so if he does this now, this means next turn he is able to Kane, Hero Power, Glavebound Adept.
you just need to make sure that you do not get that soul shard when you draw at any point in time until it's not. You get that soul shard, you're in trouble. As Lady
I
Leodaric
think
comes
he's
into
fine.
play.
This was smart because he did save it to know that there is no way that JaredPullet could cast a Libram of Hope this turn. Like he couldn't heal, so now he is sitting at 4 from the Marrow Slicer, 5 from the Hero Power, 4. That's lethal, right? He's at 5. So he's got 5, 9 with the Glaive Bound plus 3. Yeah, he's set up exactly lethal. Really good spot from level 9001 to set up the 2-turn lethal. But Lightforge Blessing gonna bail him out here. Great spot. I think that was his window. That was a really good spot. Unfortunate for him, it didn't work out for him because he had the heal there. But that was, I'm just very impressed by knowing exactly what his window was, setting up the 2-turn lethal, knowing that JaredPullet could not cast the Libram of Hope. I think that was a great play.
Yep.
So now that that plan has been derailed a little bit, you need to deal with this lifesteal that's going to heal your opponent back up out of range of a big combo again.
I mean, you might as well attack
face, and then
adapt.
Glaive Bound. Save yourself the damage, or save Jared the healing. I guess is more important than the damage, because one thing Paladin doesn't do is it's not going to damage you without a board.
Ooh, the outdoor attendant. I mean, you got the Libram of Hope, and now if you just want to boost it up with all those Librams of Wisdom.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
is definitely
you might as well.
Definitely not a bad option at all. I need to look at level 9001's updated decks to see if he is running no consume magic in the deck as well. So
No. Or if Jared really wanted to, here's a thought. You got the Hand of Vidal, which they're going to use, but you also had another Lightforge Blessing, which would have given him given the 8/8 lifesteal, which really would have put a wrench in level 9001's plans to try and seal the victory here.
Yep, I like saving the lifesteal until your life is a little lower. Like right now, he can't level 9001 can't really get through this very well. And you're not under any real threat. So at the very least, I think you can save it until you're able to attack with a minion. So he can. Kane pushes 11 plus 3 is 14.
It's not enough though.
Yeah,
That's
Kane
the
pushes
thing.
not lethal is the amount
Yeah.
of damage that Kane pushes.
Yep.
So I'm looking at the Soul Shear double trade Marrow Slicer mana burn? Question mark?
I don't see it. I think.
Yep. I think you have to
Okay.
get through it if you want
Yeah.
to stay. Because you also know you have one more to deal with. Oh no,
Yep.
one more to deal with. So
Yep. One more deal with.
saving the Kane for that lethal push, I think, is very smart. Because once you play the Kane, he also have pretty low on resources. He has used both skulls, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes.
I like it. Sure. Well, I mean, how is he doesn't run? Jared just doesn't do anything without board. So you can sit at one health out of lethal for against the paladin and be fine. And there's no
Okay.
consecrations. There's no true silvers in the deck. He has to have the board to win, and at the time he didn't. So the most he can do is 1, and you can always heal back up out of range again. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, also you have
And
those, and that is a concede.
that is a
Yep.
that is indeed a concede here. As
Just ran out
Jared
of damage.
pull it off, and with that, we are going to a game 5 Mirror Duel Hunt or Demon Hunter. I am saying duel. I don't know why. Just go with it.
They both
Buckle up,
have
guys.
a
It's gonna
lot
be a
of
long one.
weapons, I guess. I'm gonna bail you out here. They have weapons. They both have a lot of weapons. They've got marrow slicers and war blades and little claws. The minions aren't even a big deal. This is apparently my Demon Hunter mirror motion that I'm doing now. I feel like I look like an extra in Cats, but here we are.
Yeah, it's buckle up, guys. This is gonna be a very intricate, if not long, match. I think the question is the goal for this game, if you're Jared or Level, is who's gonna be able to jump out to a sizable lead in health first, and also who's gonna get the Eldraki Warblades first. Because you get that Eldraki Warblades, you're basically putting yourself in an advantage early on. In this game.
Yep, I'm trying to look at the decks to see if I see any that have an advantage. I don't honestly. I'm not good enough in this mirror to really be confident. I have to think that if an early Mag Therodon can come down, Demon Hunter doesn't have a way to deal 12 damage without face tanking it most of the time. So you're gonna get to hit for 12. Yeah, I think that might be, and like consume magic isn't going to do much. There's nothing that really needs silencing. I think altruist, in Jared's list is not going to be super impactful. So I think just based on the list, I'm gonna have to give the favor to level 9001 to take game 5.
Yeah,
and Weird Scoundrel as well, just a flexible card.
Yeah. Again, this is. I gotta agree with you, man. I don't see a way unless somehow Jared's able to just get up to if Jared is somehow able to get half is let me see if I can talk here for a sec here. If Jared could get level down to 15, like right out of the get go, somehow, some way, add some pressure on to level to make some moves. Then I think Jared had a chance, but I kind of have to agree with you. I think level 9000 is going to be able to get the win here, just because their deck list is looking better as game 5 is underway. Demon Hunter. Winner's basically getting a top 2 spot in Division 4. And they both play Spirit Jailers, both getting Soul Shards into their decks. Level 9001 with the Wand Maker.
Some pretty similar turn. Well, I was thinking we might see the Soul Shear there, but gonna go ahead and generate more cards, and again the Twin Slice, maybe the best card off of Wand Maker to get. I feel like Twin Slice's existence is why you put that card in your deck.
Yep. We'll have hero power and a mana feeder come into play as they are got 2 face attacks. We do have a twin slice in for Jared. Soul Shear knocks out the 2/3 as another 2 soul fragments in. So really just an even match all the way through as we see our first soul fragment for level 9001 in game 5. And Max Theridin coming into play already.
Going to be followed up by the board clear next turn.
And there it is, Dothraki Warglaives coming into play. But you also got Marrow Slicer, which, again, the goal of this one is to add as many soul fragments as possible to do some damage. And Marrow Slicer will do you some damage.
Yeah, I think it's I mean, he knows he's in a tough spot, right? He doesn't. He obviously doesn't know for sure that the Shard Shatter Mystic is coming down next turn, but you have to have a good idea. Your opponent doesn't essentially do nothing on turn 4 without having that as a follow up. So yeah, I like it. Just push damage where you can and hope you don't die. Yep, there it is.
Oh boy. Yeah, remember you said you want that 12-12 in? Well, guess what? The 12-12's in.
This is what I meant.
Level 9001 with a 12-12 Max Theridin. Jared's got to do something. He's got to have something. He's praying for a top deck. He's praying for something. Oh boy.
Want to make your Demon Hunter cards that deal 12 damage? I don't believe so. Okay, gonna draw an Outcast card. Could be Skull Gul'dan. Yep, load up the heals and try to race.
Yep.
That's the play. So, all right, we have a good old-fashioned race on our hands. And Level 9001 has the jet engine on his race car.
Yep, Soul Shear comes in. And this is going to hurt, ladies and gentlemen. Ow.
Are there enough soul shards in the deck for Sociologist to clear the 12-12? I think we might be fine. I think there are.
I
played a Soul Shear and a Marrow Slicer and hasn't drawn one yet. I think there's exactly enough.
Oh, yes, there is.
All right.
And you're gonna have plenty more.
Gonna heal just a little bit.
I was about to say, I'm like, if you leave that 12-12 on the field.
This is just lethal, is it? Yeah.
Yep, this is lethal right here.
Yep. The 12-12, all it needed was one hit.
Yep. And that's gonna do it here. Game 5, game, set, and match. That just because why not? Just add some more power. And that is it. Level 9001 gets the win in the Mirror Demon Hunter Extravaganza. Level wins the game and the series 3-2. But you gotta think about it, though. Really valiant effort by Jared to force a game 5. Throw a bit of a wrench in levels early celebrations with the Pally in game 4. But again, Level gets the win, goes to 4-1. Technically, as of right now, it's in a tie for first place in Division 4. Meanwhile, while Jared will fall to 3-2, the fact that it was a 3-2 loss, not really going to, it's not going to hurt him as much in terms of like game differential and all that stuff. They're still in a prime position for a wildcard spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, they were pretty well played to all the competitors. I think the games tonight were all fairly straightforward.
Oh, yes.
I think I loved Edelweiss just phase tanking like
8
damage over the course of 2 games or something, just with all the healing of the shaman, even losing to the bomb warrior. But yeah, well played to all the players. Sorry for the list confusion. The midweek nerfs kind of threw us for a wrench there.
Yep.
Appreciate your patience. But yeah, overall well played to all the competitors. Congrats to Edelweiss and Level 9001 putting themselves in some really good positions going into week 6 of 8.
Yep. Yep. And as we get going here again, we are on the road. We're getting closer and closer to the playoffs here. Uh, it just these games are going to matter more than anything else, and not just for everyone that's competing for a playoff spot, for a wild card, or maybe a division title here, but also keep this in mind. Again, early on in the stream, I said there's going to be a consolation tournament. Those that finish the season, just in general, don't have to worry about forfeiting, decide not to drop out, but they don't make a playoffs. The playoffs, there will be a consolation tournament with, I believe, a $200 prize pool in that regard. So that's going to be, just adding some fun for those. I'll kind of keep it up to date, keep it edgy in some way, shape, or form. Just make some things interesting. Like I said, I know for a fact I'm competing in that one. I have no chance of making a wild card spot here, but I it's unique. This is again the biggest Hearthstone season we've ever had here in Aspirant. 45 competitors. I think this is the first time we've ever. I think the competition committee has been like, "Hey, what do we do with all the guys that didn't make the wild card?" Hmm. So it's it's gonna be very interesting down the line as the playoffs get closer. We are definitely gonna. I would hope that we're gonna have some division clinching battles here in the streams to come.
Absolutely, and we will be here, Hearthstone casting every Saturday night. Our Magic the Gathering League,
Yep.
the Venus Mercury series, coming at you on Friday nights. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitch, stay updated, and you can catch you up on all of the card slinging action that the best amateur card slingers have to offer.
And also keep this in mind. If you miss a stream, whether it's the Venus Mercury League or the Hearthstone League, we are also on YouTube. 24 hours after streams are done, the streams in their entirety, so you don't miss any action, will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. For more information, all you gotta do is go to youtube.com, type in Aspirant CCG, look for our logo. Again, we upload as often as possible, 24 hours after a stream, because we are Twitch affiliate and we have some rules we have to follow. So it's if you can't make a stream, but you really want to see what happened, have no fear. We got a YouTube channel for you guys, and we're just it's something new for this season, especially for the Venus and Mercury League, because we talk about us being big. 45 competitors. They have 64 competitors this season. That's massive for them.
Yeah, there's some good players in there as well.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. So, all right. Well, I guess it's gonna do it. Kazgar, any final words before we call this a stream?
None for me. Thanks for having me. It's been a blast. Looking forward to getting back behind the desk some more for some more Hearthstone action. Be sure to follow us, and we will tell you what's going on. Keep updated with the scores. You can find all the scores and deck lists as well as at aspirant.gg. Click on the divisions. You want to net deck your favorite players. Go for it for that as well. And we will see you next week.
Kazgar, it's always been a great pleasure working with you. That's Kazgar. I'm Jimmy Cat. For our producer, the wonderful Major, thank you all so much for watching. Congratulations to Edelweiss and Level 9001 on your victories. We'll catch you all next Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for some more Hearthstone action. Week 6, we're getting closer to the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch you all next week.